summer. The Olympic Games 11 weeks away. But today, look at this. What a view on this track. 200 meters of beautiful blue track, built to perfection so that any times run here are valid, any records set will be absolutely valid. And I'll tell you what, it's all happening in Atlanta at the moment. Joe Biden's in town. He's making his commencement speech at Morehouse University just across town. You think that's important? This is important. This is where guys are taking a major stepping stone towards the Olympic Games that are coming at them in just a few weeks' time. That's if they can negotiate their trials. But that is the sky above us here in Piedmont Park in Midtown Atlanta. 76 degrees Fahrenheit. 24 degrees centigrade. Ordinarily, that would be beautiful conditions, but there is quite a strong wind. That 9 mph wind is gusting. It's getting a little bit stronger at times. Showers are threatened. Those clouds look dark and menacing, don't they? Don't worry about that. A little bit of rain won't hurt us, won't hurt the athletes or the crowds. But lightning, obviously, that's an absolute priority. As soon as we get a warning of lightning from 8 miles out, apparently, is when we get our first indications. Then, of course, we think about shutting down here. So bear with us, but we hope that this weather will hold. There is the scene. It's warm. There's a breeze across the park, and conditions are almost perfect. And T is down on that blue track with a special guest.
Hey guys, I'm here with Spencer, Adidas Sports Marketing. So Spencer, this is a unique event here in Atlanta. So we want to know why Atlanta.
Yeah, we have an association with the Atlanta Track Club. This meet started out as a meet in the stadium way back when in LA, and we moved it to New York, and we tried it in Boston. And because of our association with the Atlanta Track Club, we decided, hey, let's take it down there. They were a willing partner. They wanted to grow this event, so we take it from the stadium to the track, to the street. And we built this track, and we were in Centennial Park last year, and it was an amazing reception. The Atlanta crowds got really behind the event, and this year we've moved from Centennial to Piedmont Park. And I mean, look at this, the weather isn't great, but there's a ton of people out there, and they're loving the fact that they can get up close and personal to the athletes. And the athletes really enjoy that. We saw the energy last year, and I think some of the guys like Noah are going to enjoy that energy, and they're going to show that. They're going to show their appreciation. And yeah, how much fun is it that the kids can get real close to these pro athletes and inspire them?
Super fun, and we love events like this to be creative in the track and field space. So it's been great for these next 2 years. So what does the future hold for this event?
Oh, given the reception we had in the first year and what we're seeing here right now, there's no reason why we shouldn't be back. Like I said, great association with the Atlanta Track Club. They're a willing partner, so if they want us back, we want to come back. So yeah, we want to keep coming back to Atlanta.
Well, thank you so much, Spencer, for joining us, Head of Global Marketing at Adidas. We enjoyed you, and we're looking forward to having this event and having a great time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, there is the scene here in Piedmont Park from high above. Beautiful drone shot there. Those trees don't look to be moving too much, but the wind is gusting. You're looking there towards the finish line of this 200-meter track. The first race coming at us of 18 is the first heat of the women's 100 meters, and there is the lineup. And it's a strong lineup too. Tamari Davies at 20, one of the great hopes for US sprinting. Gina Luckenkemper of Germany, she's the reigning European champion at 100 meters. And on lane 2, on the outside, so to speak, Makia Briscoe with that 10.96 PR. That goes back to 2017, but she was second here last year. And Cambria Sturgis there in lane 5 at the bottom of that picture. 25-year-old has run 10.87. That was a couple of years back, but she's a former NCAA champion at 100 and 200 meters. Another massive talent. You've got to remember that US sprinting is probably the strongest in-depth discipline in any nation in the world. And in that, I include marathon running in Kenya, for example, Carrie Tollefson, because US sprinting is just, they've got an embarrassment. You guys have got an embarrassment of riches.
Well, they actually said it's the hardest team to make in the world. We know that, and they are very much looking forward to those trials in 5 weeks.
Well, the 4 athletes here ready to go. The first 2 go through to the final later on by right. There in lane 2, Makia Briscoe, the 27-year-old American. She has a PR of 10.96. She was 5th recently in the World Indoor Championships in Glasgow, Scotland, over 60 meters. She's a former silver medalist at the World Indoors, over 60 meters. Very, very strong starter and an NCAA champion back in 2017, over 100 meters. Tamari Davies, just 21 years old. A finalist in the World Championships last year over 100 meters. She has a big, big future in front of her. Her PR is 10.83, and this year she's already run 10.94, under 11 seconds. Many times under 11 seconds indeed. And she ran recently in Nassau, in the Bahamas, in the World Relays for the USA. Gina Luckenkemper goes in lane 4. The German is the reigning European champion at 100 meters. And she took a gold in the relay as well in Munich 2 years ago. Best of 10.95, 11.06 this year. And today would be a great time to go under 11. And in lane 5, completing the lineup in this first of 2 heats, Cambria Sturgis, 25 years old. She's a 10.87 performer a couple of years back. This year, 11.16 in Claremont, Florida, just last week. She's an NCAA champion back in 2021 at 100 and 200 meters. Fastest time in the world this year, by the way, 10.77 by Jacius Sears. That was in Gainesville back in the middle of April. Anything around 11 seconds or quicker here would be special. We'll have to wait and see what the officials say about that early start. Who came up early, if anyone? We would ask you in the crowd to keep quiet around that start line so the athletes don't get put off. And that, I'm afraid, is a disqualification. And that is a great shame. Wow. So Tamara Davis is DQ'd for a full start. It's been the rules in collegiate track and field for many years. And now adopted globally. So we're down to 3 then. Remember, the first 2 go through by right to the final later on. Great start there by Mikhail Briscoe in lane 2. Briscoe leading at the moment. Luckenkemper with a bit of work to do. Here comes the German, though, leaving it late, but coming through really strongly to take that one by meter. It was Luckenkemper, Briscoe, and Sturgis in that order. 11.10. That is very, very crisp indeed. And these guys usually go faster in the second race of the day. But Luckenkemper, for sure, books her place in the final later on. And 11.10 for the German. Well, that's very close to her season's best.
Look at how she gets out here strong, but not too fast. She is moving hard, but all eyes are on that finish line. She's not looking around. She is tight. She is working her way through it. And look at her, Tim. So focused. She had to stay calm, and she sure did. A little dip at the line.
So Briscoe goes through as well by right. Second place there. And I'll send you down to T. T, who you got?
Gina, you have had an amazing season so far. You opened up with a season best and a nice solid win today. So, I mean, you're feeling good.
Yeah, I'm absolutely feeling good. My start was pretty much shit today. But the rest of the race was really, really nice. And so looking forward to this final tonight.
I love it. Now, this is an Adidas family affair. So what has been your favorite part so far?
Just hanging out in the hotel with all the Adidas family and everybody. It's been so cool to reconnect with everyone. And that's just great.
I love it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in this final.
Thank you. See you later.
Well, there's that replay. Sturgis will have to wait and see. She came third there in 11.27. By the way, they were running into a slight headwind, minus 0.8. course, the top sprinters love to get a win behind them, Kerry.
The crowds are starting to get so hyped, but guess what? There was just ruckus happening behind us, and guess why? Noah Lyles is in the house. There are so many people that are here to see all these amazing athletes, but it was loud back here. They had to kind of shoo them away real fast, but yes, what a great way to start our races today. Luckenkämper just kind of keeping us on our toes.
So there is the official result, 11.09, the win for Luckenkämper. That is close to her season's best. Into a slight headwind as well. Mikaela Briscoe, 11.16, also nails her spot in the final later on. Cambria Sturgis with 11.27. We'll have to wait and see if she gets that one non-automatic qualifier spot. Of course, there will be 5 in the final, but only the first 2 from each of the 2 heats is guaranteed a spot in the final. Let's take a look at Heat 2. The athletes up and ready. We're turning around these races very quickly today. There is the lineup. Kennedy Blackman, Tamara Clark, Aaliyah Hobbs, who was the winner here last year over in Centennial Park, Ashanti Moore, and Navia Battle on the outside in lane 5. Well, Aaliyah Hobbs, who won here last year in 10.99, keen to retain this Adidas Atlanta City Games title, so to speak. The athletes just readying themselves. Not often you see athletes in a straight sprint 100 like this with a lot of empty track behind them.
Well, Aaliyah Hobbs did say this was a highlight of her year last year. She loved coming and racing here, and I think that's what Gina said with T right there. She just said this is a family affair. All of these athletes get to race against each other all over the world, but they're really concentrated in this atmosphere here and also at the hotel. They get to chat with each other and get kind of excited about the upcoming races that they have. It's going to be a busy year, Tim.
It is indeed, yeah. Aaliyah Hobbs winning last year pretty narrowly, actually, from Mikaela Briscoe, who we saw come second in that first heat. A winning time 10.99 last year from Aaliyah Hobbs, but she is a 10.81 performer. Actually ran that time twice back in 2022, and her season's best already is super fast. She's run 10.88, that was in Baton Rouge, back on the 30th of April. Aaliyah there, just getting those laces done right. So the time to beat for a place in the final, 11.27. That was Sturgis's 3rd place time in the first heat. They have to get those blocks exactly right to the millimeter. It's practiced hundreds, if not thousands of times in training.
Well, last year when we were looking at Aaliyah Hobbs, this was one of her first races back from that hand injury that she had at the USATF indoors. This year, she's healthy. She did have some cramps at the World Indoor Championships where she didn't get to run that final, but she said she's been feeling great. She had a really nice opener, so we're going to get to see how she does here today.
So we're just about ready to present to you each of these 5 world-class athletes. And this is a tough heat. But that 3rd place is going begging. We could see 3 qualify from this heat. Let's take a look at these athletes now. So in lane 1, Kennedy Blackman, semi-finalist in US Championships last year, the 24-year-old. Personal best of 11.02. She's already run 11.06 this year, really close to her lifetime best. Can she nail it here today in this 2nd heat? Tamara Clark goes in lane 2, 10.88 in the semi-finals of the US Championships a couple of years ago. She has run 10.98 this season. That was just last week in Claremont, Florida. She's in great form. Aaliyah Hobbs, the defending champion, 10.81 her PB, 10.88 just a couple of weeks ago. She won here last year, as I say, And she won the US Indoor Championships in Albuquerque back in February and then cramped before the final at the World Indoors. But that is behind her now, and Alea already in great shape this season. Ashanti Moore of Jamaica, the 23-year-old, goes in lane 4. 11.06 in the Jamaican Championships last year. She's only run 200 this year in 23 seconds, but she was third here last year in 11.10. Needs to negotiate this heat to get through to the final yet. And Anavia Battle completes the lineup, the 25-year-old American. Third in the Olympic trials back in 2021. And a semi-finalist in the Tokyo Olympic Games over 200 meters, best of 11.05. That was this year, back just 10 days or so ago, in great shape. Under starters' orders then for this second heat of the women's 100. Where they go, and going well at the moment in the center is Alea Hobbs. Hobbs building a lead here, coming through strong in the second half is Blackman on the far side, but Alea Hobbs by a meter is going to take this one. Comes through, and I think second place there, Tamara Clark. Clark takes second, and that winning time for Hobbs, well, we're waiting for that to be clarified. But it looks like Hobbs has run 11.17. The wind slightly stronger in the faces of those ladies, minus 1.2. But 11.17, the winning time for Hobbs. She nails it, gets her place in the final. And in second place, Tamara Clark, 11.27. And Kennedy Blackman at 11.30 for third place there. Well, third place in the first heat was 11.27. So Cambria Sturgis does make the final as a non-automatic qualifier.
And Hobbs gets out nice here. She comes down that runway. You can see just the power that she's getting back from this track. She is bouncing through her stride there, looking so nice, and even eases up just a little bit. This is going to be a fun season watching her.
So, T, I understand you're with another winner.
Aaliyah, you're having a great season so far. Your fastest opener yet. And we talked yesterday, you said it's a different approach this year. Talk to us about that.
This year I'm kind of just not running as many races as I did previously because I would run fast in the beginning and kind of have much at the end, but we're doing good this year, so let's keep it going.
I love that. Now we back in Atlanta. You won this meet last year. The crowd is here for you. Show them some love.
Hey, I love y'all. My AT right there.
All right, we'll see you back here for the final.
All right, see you then.
What I want to know is what do they do between now and the final? They've got a couple of hours. Do they go back to the hotel and have a massive meal? No, of course they don't. But what do
I don't
they
think in Atlanta you do that. There's too much traffic.
There's too much traffic,
Yeah, we got to keep them
today
here.
with Joe in town.
But, you know, I love that she's taking a little bit of an approach, a different approach this year. Not too many races.
Slightly stronger headwind for that one. Just confirmation. Alea Hobbs winning 11.17. Tamara Clark goes through by right as well. Kennedy Blackman in third place just misses out on the final with Navia Battle and Ashani Moore really close behind. So the confirmation of the 5 qualifiers for the final. Lucan Kemba, the winner of the first heat, 11.09. Makia Briscoe second behind her with that 11.16. And Alea Hobbs qualifying, of course, winning that second heat, 11.17 with Cambria Sturgis, who was third in the first heat, and Tamara Clark second in that second heat. Those are the qualifiers for that 100 final. Sets it up nicely. So Without any further ado, the men's 100-meter heats coming at us now. 2 heats, very similar to the women's there. Here is the lineup for that first heat of the men's 100. Ronnie Baker, very, very experienced, the 30-year-old, one of the quickest men ever over 60 meters indoors. Rhian Ford of Jamaica in 2. Akani Simbine of South Africa goes in 3. He's in great form too. He won a Diamond League in China 3 weeks back. Big meeting in China. And Udodi Onwuzurike, 9.92, his personal best, the Nigerian. He goes in 4. Well, none of these 4 carry have yet broken 10 seconds this year. This wind just swirling a little bit. It's frustrating. It's a bit of a headwind so far.
Skies look better, though, which is always great. But, yes, for these sprinters, it's tough. You know, distance runners, they can get through the wind a little bit differently, but the sprinters don't love it. You know, in this heat, we see 2 men that were here last year, Baker and Sabina. They definitely know how to run this. It takes a little bit of, you know, getting used to this track. It's different. It's not on the ground. So it's fun to see them come out here and see what it's like.
Well, sprinters like a really hard surface to sprint on, including this man, Ronnie Baker. He goes in lane 1, the 30-year-old, 9.83. He ran in the semi-finals, the Tokyo Olympics back in 2021. He finished 5th there in Tokyo. He's the 3rd fastest man in history at 60 meters. Watch Ronnie Baker, real powerhouse in lane 1. Rhian Ford of Jamaica, just 22 years old, but he ran 9.95 in the semi-finals of the World Championships last year. This year, 10.12 so far. He was 2nd in the Jamaican Championships last year, and Jamaica, just like the USA, one of the great global powerhouses of world sprinting. In 3, Akani Simbine, the 30-year-old South African, ran 9.84 a couple of years back in Hungary. This year, 10.01. He won the Diamond League in Suzhou in China a couple of weeks ago. He's in really good form. 4th in the Tokyo Olympics, 4th in the World Championships 2 years before that, but he has a big future, that's for sure. And in lane 4, Udodi Onwuzurike of Nigeria, just 21 years old. He's the youngster of the pack here, 9.92 he ran last year. Hasn't run 100 yet this year, but he's a former world junior champion at 200. Look for him to come through strongly in the second half, the Nigerian, of this first heat of the men's 100.
On your marks.
Into their blocks then, these 4 men. First heat, the men's 100 meters.
Set.
Away they go. How quickest into his running looks maybe to be Ronnie Baker on the far side, coming through stronger than now Simbine. Simbine easing away through the second half and really tight for second place there. Impossible to tell whether it was Baker or Onwuzurike taking that precious second spot. 10.10, the winning time. And that's pretty crisp from Simbine. Take a look at the wind in that one. Waiting for that wind mark to come up, but Simbine there looking very, very strong and businesslike with that win.
Just watching these 4 take off, you know, when we're looking at down the track, you can't really tell who it is, but Simbine just sort of inched his way and then did shut it down, but this man is on a mission this year, and you could see it today.
Yes, Simbine winning 10.10. Ronnie Baker in second, 10.25 makes it through, but T, over to you.
Testing. What's up, Akani? So, strong finish in this smooth win in Atlanta. Is that how you used to racing?
Yeah, man, I just have to put my race together, be patient with it, and get the job done.
I love it. Now it's Olympic year. You went from 5th.
Man, I need to get my position on the podium, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we're working towards, and yeah, I'm focused towards that.
I love it. South Africa is making some big noise in the sprints. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, South Africa is just making a lot of noise on the sprints. There's a lot of us, not just from South Africa, but the southern region side of Africa. You know, we are coming out, the youth that's coming out is really great, and I'm excited to be part of the game still, you know, and racing against these young kids. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it and hoping to stay on top.
I love it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in the finals today.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I thought it was tight. He was a clear winner there, Simbine, in a minus 0.6 win, slight headwind, 10-10. But look at that for second place. Ronnie Baker, 10.25. On was Arika of Nigeria, 10.25. So they could only divide them by the thousandth of a second. That's pretty much the thickness of your T-shirt. Well, there are some big names here today. We've already seen some big names. But look at this man, Grant Holloway, 3 times a world champion at 110-meter hurdles. He holds the world record for 60-meter hurdles indoors, and today goes over his favorite distance, 110-meter hurdles outdoors. Looking forward to seeing him in a little while. Always smiling, lovely fella is Grant Holloway.
And he is kind of a goofball. He has some fun out there.
Well, Grant Holloway, people wanting selfies and autographs, and he's trying to concentrate and getting to his race. Let's take a look at the field for this second heat of the men's 100 meters. Trey Cunningham, he's normally a 110-meter hurdler. Is that personal best, 10.6. I was talking to him this morning at breakfast. He said he's hoping to run around 10.1 here today. Kendall Williams goes in 2. He's a 9.93 performer. Omanyala, the Commonwealth Games champion, he goes in 3 for Kenya. You heard me right, a sprinter from Kenya, 9.77. He ran a couple of years back, and Terence Laird completes the lineup in lane 4. So let's take a look at these 4 athletes ready to go. The winning time in that first heat, remember, Simbine is 10.10. There is Trey Cunningham. Said he hasn't run a serious 100 meters as a senior athlete. That personal best 10.6 was back in 2019, 5 years ago. But he is one of the quickest high hurdlers ever. Ken Williams, 28-year-old, 9.93. He ran just last Saturday. He's in great form. That personal best last Saturday was with a 2 meter per second win, but he's a former world junior champion, coming back to really good form is Williams. He's in lane 2. Lane 3, Ferdinand Omanyala, the lightning quick starter from Kenya, 4th in the world indoors 60 meters just a couple of months ago in Glasgow, Scotland. He's the African champion from 2022 at 100, and 9.77 on paper makes him the fastest in this race. And Terence Laird completes the lineup. 10.05 a couple of years back from Laird. He's a great 200-meter runner. That's probably his better event. Never broken 10 seconds. Today would be a great time to do that. He's been under 20 seconds for 200 many times.
It's the calm before the storm, Tim.
On your mark.
I hope you're not talking about the weather.
No.
So here we go then. Heat 2 of the men's 100. Good start there from Simbine, from Omanyala rather. Omanyala leading at the moment, trying to come back at it is Kendall Williams. Kendall Williams moving through second place, but it's got a very tight of the line there. Omanyala was leading. I'm not sure that Kendall Williams didn't maybe steal that with the lean. Really tight, 10.12, almost identical winning time to the first heat. Remember, that was 10.10. But that was so tight. And Kendall Williams, well done to him for running all the way through the line. And we're waiting for that time to be confirmed. Omanyala has been given it by the tiniest of margins, 10.12. Kendall Williams exactly the same time. Omanyala won that by 2/1000ths of a second from Williams.
And check these guys out. Omanyala, the guy from Kenya, he says it's Omanyala mania back home. They love watching him sprint. And he's had a bunch of competition right here today. Kendall Williams trying to get him all the way to the line. This was a fun one.
Really tight finish. Thank goodness for electronic timing. And was Ferdy Omanyala. Had a long chat with him yesterday, all smiles, but was he guilty of not leaning there, maybe leaning back at the line? T, who you got? The winner, I guess.
Kendall, you done snuck that win real quick. What you want people to know about you leading into this 2024 season?
Well, this year, it's a new year, new me. I've been putting in a lot of work for the past couple of years, and it's good to see it finally paying off. So I'm ready to come out, I'm ready to bust heads, I'm ready to just get going.
All right, you looking forward to seeing you in the final.
Absolutely, thank you.
Mr. Omanyala. Now, there they go. There they go. King is in the building.
My people, thank you for coming, man.
So, Omanyala, you changed coaches after Budapest. So what has been the biggest difference in your approach leading into Paris 2024?
We're taking it a race at a time, and it's a long season where the target's the Olympic Games. So we're not going to pick too early this time. So just handling each race as it comes and looking at how to get better in every race.
All right, we love to hear it. And we're looking forward to seeing you run a little more rounds in this final.
Yeah, I love that.
For sure.
Well, all smiles. It's I guess the gloves come off properly in the final when these fellas get their final race of the day in a couple of hours' time. So much more to come here. There's the scene. The crowd's building all the time here in Piedmont Park. Well, at the top of the picture, you can see the runways, those blue runways for the women's pole vault. That's the lower one of the two. And the farther side, that's the long jump runway. There are both men's and women's long jump competitions here. There's the start list for this men's long jump. 7 jumpers here. Javon Harrison possibly starts as favorite. That 8:47 is quite astonishing because Harrison is a 2:36 high jumper as well. He's one of the very few on the world scene, if not ever, who are fabulous at the high jump and the long. Jarian Lawson, a name to watch as well with that 8:57, 8:58 personal best rather. The season's best 7:88. Let's take a look at the way this competition unfolded. So, Jarian Lawson. Jarian Lawson, his second attempt. Going up to 7:61, that's 24 feet, 11 3/4. His opener was a very modest 7:38. Javon Harrison, though, well, he had already laid down a good marker with his opener. 7:68 with his first round effort, that's 25 feet, 2.5. 8 meters, of course, is the benchmark of world-class long jumping. Laquan Nairn, his 6th attempt, took him out to 7:70. That was the best of his series. He was building through to that 25 feet 3.25. And the Irishman, the only Irishman at this meeting today, Shane Howard, well, he went out to, in his second attempt, to 25 feet 4, 7:72. Kerry McLeod in the 6th round. Well, he had great series, 7:91 in round 3, but in round 6, 7:92, 26 feet exactly. And that ended up being good enough for 3rd place. DeMarcus Simpson, well, he opened with a couple of modest efforts, and then 7:94, 26 feet and 3/4 of an inch in the 3rd round. That was the season's best for DeMarcus Simpson. Good enough for 2nd place. But the young man in form, the world record holder just from last week, Mattia Furlani of Italy, going out with a big 6th round effort. Good speed from him, really powers onto that board. 8:06, that's 26 feet 5.5 in the 6th and final round to separate from himself. He's the winner, but separate himself from the rest with a clearance of 8 meters and 6 centimeters, 26 feet 5.5. Well, that is Mattia Furlani, a very, very exciting talent from Italy. That was a world junior record he set just recently. And he, of course, will be representing Italy at those European Championships in just a couple of weeks' time in Rome. Kerry, I understand you're back down there now.
Yes, and I am with one of the most famous track and field athletes, and also Atlanta's very own Edwin Moses. Edwin, you're back. We were here last year together chatting. What does it feel like to be back here?
Thank you. Different venue, but I like coming to these kind of track meets. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
You know, you and I both love this sport so much. What is your favorite thing about this, and what do you miss the most about track and field?
I missed the training, to be honest with you. The races happen so quickly that you don't really remember anything. I missed the training.
Yeah. You know, you are a name that never goes away. Everyone remembers your name. Everyone wants to read all the great stories that have been written about you. But there's a lot of kids out here today that want to know how you did it. So what advice would you give the young kids, and actually a lot of the kids that are racing today?
That's a difficult question. In conjunction with the Atlanta Track Club, we have the all-comers meets at Morehouse College on Tuesday night. So, I mean, there were toddlers running out there, and that's how I started. So I like that part of it.
Giving back. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. Mr. Edwin Moses, everybody.
Ed Moses there, proudly sporting his Morehouse University t-shirt. Joe Biden in town with the commencement speech there. Okay, to the next event, and it's the hurdles now. And it is the 110-meter hurdles, and there is the lineup. And this is a strong field. Rob Dunning last year in this, he's in the first heat. Rob Dunning last year producing a massive personal best, 13.09. Took second in the final eventually, but Dunning here goes in the middle of this lane, these are 3 lanes. Mike Dixon is a 13.23 athlete. Anything under 13.30 is really high caliber, world class. Dixon in 2, Dunning in 3, and then Rasheem Brown of the Cayman Islands goes in lane 4. There are 2 heats. There'll be 3 athletes in the second heat. Well, that crowd wonderfully close to the track. They're almost within touching distance of the athletes in lane 5. Let's take a closer look at each of these 3 men. So there is Mike Dixon, 13.23 he ran in 2021. This year, 13.55. That was when he came 4th in the Drake Relays a couple of weeks ago. He was 5th at the US Indoor Championships back in March in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's in 2. Rob Dunning, the 26-year-old. Well, last year, as I said, that massive personal best, 13.09 for second place. And then he was 7th in the US Championships, but he's run many times in the 13.20s. Really consistent sprint hurdler is Rob Dunning. 13.81 this year. Rasheem Brown goes on the near side in lane 4 from the Cayman Islands. 13.50, his personal best from last year. He's run 13.73 this year, not too far off that lifetime best. Represented the Cayman Islands in the World Championships last year in Hungary.
On your marks.
So the 5th race of the day, Mike Dixon in 2, Rob Dunning 3, Rasheem Brown in lane 4 in the blue. Really good start there from Mike Dixon, but it's a rhythm event. There's the 110-meter hurdles are going well on the near side. Is Rasheem Brown in the blue coming through now. Rob Dunning in the center. Dunning moving through strong in the second half. Mike Dixon fighting back, and Dixon just gets there. He takes it 13.66. Unofficially the winning time for Mike Dixon. Well, that wind picked up, made it tough in that one. -3 meters per second, the wind in the faces of those guys. Mike Dixon, 13.65 for that wind carry.
You saw Dixon getting out there strong, but the guy in the middle, he's the guy from here. He's got 6 championships from the state here in Atlanta, and you know he wants to perform well in front of a big crowd. So Dunning giving him a run for his money, but Dixon outleans him.
So, Dixon 13.65. Rob Dunning really close up behind him, 13.69, and a new season's best. And in 3rd place, Rasheem Brown, 13.94. T, down to you.
Michael, incredible racing here in Atlanta. It seemed like it came right down to the finish. So just elaborate on what your experience was in this race.
Well, I know Robert's a great competitor, and so I knew I had to get out really good. So I got a good start, but I didn't transition through the first hurdle really well. So then I kind of like was floating a couple hurdles, but I was able to lock in and just finish strong.
I love that. Now, you know the U.S. is dominant in the sprint, so how do we move on from this meet going on forward?
Well, I just review every race, talk to my coach, and just get better each time. And the past is the past, and the present is the present.
I love that. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you in the final.
Thank you.
Robert Dunning, Atlanta native. We're in your hometown. How you feel, man? Tell us about it.
I'm very blessed. You know, second year in a row to have this meet. You know, I got a lot of friends, family out there. I'm just happy, you know, put on a show for them.
Now, you ran a personal best here last year. Now, you have one more race in the final, so just talk about how you plan to execute.
Fix some things up. I made some mistakes just now. You know, go back to the warm-up area, fix some things up, you know, tighten things right. You know, get back to the final, try to run the PB.
I love it. Atlanta, make some noise for one of your own, Robert Dunning.
That T knows how to get the crowd going.
I know she does. But how cool is that for Robert Dunning? Like, not many times do you get to go and run in your hometown. It's pretty awesome.
Mike Dixon there, 13.65, just outleaning Rob Dunning, rushing Brown 13.94. We'll have to see if he can make it through. The second heat to come. Well, Anna Hall, the silver medalist in the World Championships in the heptathlon, 7 events over 2 days. Silver medalist in the World Championships last year is in the house. This is her arriving. People wanting selfies, you name it.
I love that outfit. Look at her 3 stripes on her shoulder. She's looking good. She's feeling good. You know, this is a big thing that these athletes are doing. Noah Lyles is a big one behind that fashion walkout, right? They want to bring awareness to our sport, and they're doing such a good job, and it's so fun. This is a great way for the young kids to get to know the athletes before they race.
And these guys have got the charisma and the looks to go with it. The athletes are getting ready for the second heat of the men's 110-meter hurdles. Let's take a look at the start list, and there is one somewhat notable name there. Apart from Anna Hall in the house, there's a lot of big names here today, but one of the biggest, Grant Holloway, goes in lane 3. 3 times a world champion, 3 times consecutively a world champion, and he's the second fastest man in history at this event. 12.80 is Aries Merritt's world record from 2012. Grant Holloway knocking on the door of breaking that. Rollins, Holloway, Hunter, heat 2. Well, let's have a closer look at these 3 fellas. There is Louis Rollins, 27-year-old. It's a best of 13.43 from a couple of years back. He's a big fella, 6'2". That's 1.88 if you like the metric. And his season's best, well, he's only had a windy performance this year, 13.32. It was just over the legal limit 3 weeks back. He goes in 2. And here he is. Let's hear it for the reigning world champion, the second fastest man in history, Grant Holloway. 12.81 he ran 3 years ago, winning the Olympic trials. And then he went on to take the silver medal at the Olympic Games. But either side of that, 3 times a world champion outdoors and twice a world indoor champion, including a couple of months back in Glasgow, Scotland, where he took another gold for his collection. Miles Hunter goes in lane 4, the 28-year-old American, has the best of 13.62. That's from some 4 or 5 years back. 13.75 this year. That was a windy performance a couple of weeks ago. Hunter perfectly capable of getting back down there in the mid-13s.
On your marks.
Good start from Grant Holloway in the yellow. He's already run 13.21 this year. He's moving away really well. Holloway with that really good speed between the barriers, building a lead here. Watch the clock. This will be quick from Holloway. 2-3 meters in the lead. Not holding back too much. Minus 1.6. And yet 13.23 from Grant Holloway. Turn that wind around and you'd be right down there towards 13 seconds. That is a superb opener from Holloway. And remember, so often these athletes go better in their second race of the day. Grant Holloway now will head off and prepare for the final. Well, Holloway, 13.22, in fact, qualifies okay.
Look at how strong he is coming out of the blocks there. It just seems like he gets stronger after every hurdle. He just puts in so much power. He stands up here just a little bit, not too much. We know he needs to lean in, but every single hurdle, he is going so smooth, so clean. He has to be happy with that race today.
Well, Grant Holloway winning there by about 3 minutes. Looks superb, and I think he's with T.
Grant, these people came to see you, okay? Give a message to these amazing fans here in Atlanta.
I'm just happy to be back. Obviously, with everything going on, it's just another building block to, Paris. So looking forward to it. My friend Tim up there said I look fatigued, so I need to probably do a couple more push-ups for him.
I love it. Now, you've been through an Olympic cycle. Just talk about, from your perspective, what these early races are in a year like this.
Catching rhythm, figuring out what needs to be fixed, what doesn't need to be fixed. I mean, obviously today we're going to be running into a headwind, so it's going to be a little bit more of a technique race more than a fast race. So just want to use those building blocks forward and see what happens next.
I love it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing some more fast racing from you in the final.
I cannot wait.
Did I say he looked fatigued? I thought he looked fantastic. 13.22 into a minus 1.6. And I'll tell you what, great running behind him. Louis Rollins there in second place, 13.51, not far off his lifetime best, and into a minus 1.6. And Miles Hunter, he does run a lifetime best, 13.55. That's a big, big jump forward for Miles Hunter. Brilliant run, and I think that takes him through to the final. All those three in Heat 2 go through to the final. Let's take a look at the summary. Yeah, Grant Holloway won in the class apart, of course, 13.22. But Louis Rollins, Miles Hunter, second and third in that second heat. And then Miles Dixon and Rob Dunning going through as well. All to run for in that final. All those hurdlers have got about an hour and 25 minutes until the final comes up. So plenty of time just to chill and keep loose. Let's take a look at the next event, the first heat of the women's 100-meter hurdles, those barriers being adjusted by the volunteers. Big shout out for all the volunteers doing a wonderful job here today. There is the lineup: Kayla Robinson, Anna Hall, Kenny Harrison, former world record holder Kenny Harrison in lane 3, Cindy Semper of Great Britain, the best of the Brits, and Demisha Roswell of Jamaica. Incidentally, the world record holder of Nigeria, Toby Amuzan, goes in the second heat. Sun breaks out here in Piedmont Park. It's a rather beautiful evening, 5:45 nearly local time here. Anna Hall, there she is in that yellow and pink strip. You saw her arriving just a little while ago, a 23-year-old. This is just one of the disciplines of the 7 she does in a heptathlon, those multi-events spread over 2 days, where she is capable, if she focused upon this discipline, she could be world-class, I'm sure. She's a 12.75 sprint hurdler, and that's when she's training for so many other complex disciplines, the throws, the jumps, the running. Remember, they have to run an 800, the last discipline of the 7 on day 2 in a heptathlon. She is just unbelievably talented.
This is not open. This is not what I ordered. You're late on your vlog. I said I'm sorry. Why are you bringing in Jane? You don't use it anymore. Your card has been cancelled.
So the athletes ready then, engines revving for this first heat of the women's 100-meter hurdles. Those barriers have been brought down a few inches, but they are still 10 of them out there. These ladies have got to negotiate. On the far side in pink is Kayla Robinson, She's a 12.7 performer. It'll be fascinating to see how well Anna Hall goes here. She actually ran her personal best 12.75 in Godzis last year in May, the multi-events competition in Austria, which is going on this weekend, actually, in Austria. Let's take a look at these athletes more closely. Well, there is Kayla Robinson, 24 years old, already close to her lifetime best this year. She's run 12.87. That was at the Texas Relays a couple of weeks ago. 12.71, her lifetime best. She's in one. There is Anna Hall, the 23-year-old, had a great run in the hurdles at this meet last year. She's the silver medalist from the heptathlon at the World Championships last year. She's the 5th best heptathlete in history. And the 7,000 point score beckons for her, but how can she go here today in the hurdles? Kenny Harrison, well, world record holder as she was back in London 2016, she ran 12.20. Kenny Harrison still going wonderfully well. World indoor champion back in 2018, Tokyo Olympic silver medalist. Kenny Harrison still in fabulous shape. Cindy Semper of Great Britain. She's a 12.50 performer. She holds the British national record. She's been close to that already this year with 12.57. And ran 12.59 at the Drake Relay. So she's in good, consistent form, Semper in lane 4. And completing the lineup, Demisha Roswell of Jamaica, the 25-year-old, has run 12.44 a couple of years back. 12.68 this year for second in those Drake Relays 2 weeks ago. She's had a few races already this year. This is her 6th outdoor 100 hurdles of 24. She's rounding into her best shape.
On your mark.
A late recall gun there. At least they didn't all hear it. But those barriers need to be reset. And let's hope and pray it was a faulty start rather than a full start. But the officials, of course, reading objectively the timing equipment readout. So that just raises the pressure a little bit for these athletes. They will have experienced it, of course, many times. And it's a green card there. So a faulty start rather than a full start. No disqualification, thank goodness. Anna Hall saying yesterday to us that she feels she can make up a lot more points in the heptathlon, in the throws. A javelin, for example, she feels has got a lot of improvement to come.
On your mark.
But hey, why not look to improve every discipline? Heat 1 then, of the women's 100-meter hurdles. Kayla Robinson in 1, Anna Hall goes in 2, Kenny Harrison, second fastest athlete in history, goes in lane 3. Cindy Semper in 4, Demisha Roswell in lane 5. Great start there from Cindy Semper, but going strongly now. Harrison, perhaps the smallest in this field, but easing away, going well on the near side. Demisha Roswell. Roswell coming back at Harrison, but Harrison's going to take this one by about half a metre. Dip at the line there gives Roswell second place over Semper. And that winning time for Kenny Harrison, 12.69 into a -1 metre per second wind. That is pretty solid. for Kenny Harrison. Turn that wind around and you're looking down on the 12.4s. Very, very smooth, crisp technique here. Harrison there dipping at the line, not taking any chances. 12.69 to Kenny Harrison to Demisha Roswell's 12.76. Anna Hall, 13.55. She'll be a little disappointed with that, but she has had knee problems in recent months. But let's find out what Kenny herself thought of it. T.
Okay, Kenny, season opener for you. Update us. How's training been going?
Training's been going really great. Just so excited to be out here and get my season opener.
So what does this race tell you about the rest of the season?
It tells me I have ways to go. Get ready for this final. And yeah, that's all I can do.
We look forward to seeing you, the second fastest woman of all time. Does that ever bring any pressure, any targets on you?
No, I think I like the pressure. Yeah. You know, this event is so stacked, so everyone has to bring their A game.
I love it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in the final.
Thank you.
Miss Anna, we miss you. Welcome back. How's the comeback been?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been really, really hard. But I'm really happy that I'm healthy enough to be competing again and just looking for that little SB every single meet, even if, you know, it's not what I want, but I'm getting better every time. So coming out with the season's best today, I'm honestly happy.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. So we talked about it. You said today you wanted to leave with some post-surgery PR. So you did. Are you leaving with some?
Yes, yeah, that's a 10th faster than I ran my first race 3 weeks ago. So I'm just hoping to keep dropping that time every single time I run on my way to trials.
I love it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you put it all together in that multi. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at the result of that one. Anna Hall there saying, yep, it's come a long way back from that knee surgery. Kenny Harrison winning that first heat, 12.69 into a minus 1 meter per second win. Said it tells us she's got a lot of work to do. I think that's pretty strong. Demisha Roswell running really well there for second place, 12.76. And Cindy Sember, 12.81. We'll have to wait and see if she can go through with that. But actually, only the winners guaranteed a place in the final. 12.81, separation between Sember and Robbins there, third and fourth. Well, the pole vault has been going on, the women's pole vault over on the far side of the park. There's the start list, just 6 athletes out there. The standout athlete is the one who's not American, Molly Cordery. She's a new young talent, 24 years old. She won the world indoor title, beating the best of the rest of the world back in March in Glasgow, Scotland, coached by Dad Stewart, who is here. Well, this is Alina McDonald at 4 meters 24. That's 13 feet 11. She actually came in at the previous height, 409, 13.5. Cleared that okay. And clears 13.11, 4 meters 24, first time, no problem. Maria Calzi, she cleared 409 as well. And here she goes at 4 meters 24, 13.11. First time for her as well. Looks pretty happy with that. Always good to get that reinforcement of confidence. Rachel Baxter, well, she cleared 409, third time of asking, but here she's first attempt at 13.11, 4 meters 24, pops over it, no trouble. What was all the fuss about at the previous height? Well, I'll tell you what, the sun has come out and it's rather glorious here in Piedmont Park. Second heat, the women's 100-meter hurdles. And Toby Amuzan is the standout here. That 12.12, you can see beside her name, the Nigerian, that is the world record, set 2 years ago in Eugene, Oregon. Let's take a look at these 4. Yannick Thompson then, a personal best of 12.53. That was in the heat of her national championships, the Jamaican, last year. She's already run 12.59 this year. She goes in lane 2. She's in great form. And let's give a big Atlanta welcome to Tomi Amuzan, the world record holder from Nigeria. World champion back in 2022. Served her apprenticeship, built up through major championships. She was 4th in the Tokyo Olympic Games. And sits atop the pile on the all-time list. She's in 3. Akira Nugent goes in lane 4 for Jamaican, the 22-year-old who's run 12.43. That was last year, and she's already been close to that this year with 12.52 in Gainesville, Florida, a month ago. Former world junior champion is Nugent. She's in lane 4. And Mariam Abdul Rashid goes in lane 5 for Canada. set a recent personal best in Baton Rouge. That was just a couple of weeks back, 12.69. She's in wonderful shape too, in lane 5.
On your marks. Set.
Well, away they go. Tommy Amazan second to right. Fastest in the world this year with a big win in Kingston last week. She's building up a lead now, although good resistance from Nugent here. Oh, Nugent goes down. Tommy Amazan storms to the line, wins there by about 3 meters from Yannick Thompson. This is a tough, unforgiving event. Minus 1.3. And that winning time unofficially 12.64 for Toby Amuzan. It sets it up beautifully for the final. Remember Kenny Harrison winning the first heat in 12.69. Amuzan there 12.64. A very, very small amount quicker.
Well, everybody loves that rivalry that Kenny and Toby have. But here, let's watch right quick. Toby Anderson getting out really strong. Looking good. She said she's hungry. She has this killer in her, this killer eye thing going on right now where she looks at every hurdle and she is thinking Olympic Games, Olympic Games. And there is that fall from Nugent, but Toby didn't even get phased by it. Look at that. One quick hurdle at the end there. She had a little lean and she gets this heat. But look at Nugent, just a little bit there with 3 hurdles to go. She got up. She looks okay. Let's hope she can shake it off.
Well, Toby Amazan, how happy is she with that tee?
Toby, you having some great momentum in this 2024 season. Does that make you excited?
Look, go ahead. I'm just out here executing. Look, I'm healthy. That's all that matters. I'm just thankful to be out here to get one race under my belt, and I'm excited for the rest of the season.
I love it. Now, you are a world record holder, the greatest to ever do this event. So explain to us in your perspective, what's the hardest part and the easiest part about running the short hurdles?
The hardest part is training. The easiest part is competing.
I love it. Thank you for stopping by, Toby. We're looking forward to seeing you in the final.
Thank you so much.
I agree. The training is so hard. It's just fun to come out and race a little bit.
Absolutely right. You know, you're seeing the tip of the iceberg here with these athletes competing. It's the months and months of hard work in the cold of winter and the wind and the rain that you don't see. There it is, Tomi Armazan, 12.64, the quickest time of the day so far. Qualifies okay with that win ahead of Yannick Thompson, who will also go through. Let's take a look at the full standings after those 2 heats. Toby Amazan just quicker than Kenny Harrison, the winner of the first heat. Tamisha Roswell, Cindy Sember, and Yannick Thompson goes through as well to that final, that women's 100-meter hurdles final. And that's coming at, that's 7:20. Well, they built a 200-meter track here, and we are now going to see the full length of it being used. That top right of your picture, that is the finish zone, the sort of rundown zone where they decelerate these athletes. But this is the women's 200 meters, 5 athletes out there. Fastest time in the world this year, 22.03. Flojo's world record from 1988. Is it really that many years ago? What's that? Is that 36 years ago?
I don't even know.
That's 21.34. Forget about that. Anything down around the 22.5 range, under 23 would be good. This is a soft, bouncy track. I think most of the sprinters prefer a hard surface they can really drive off, but that is a good field in this women's 200. Williams, Jones, Abrams, Irby Jackson, Bromfield, and Blackman.
Well, Irby Jackson, she must love that there's an extra 50 meters to this track this year. Last year, as you all know, it was 150 was the longest that we saw. This year, 200 meters down here in the meadow at Piedmont Park. It's a really cool atmosphere. There's a lot of people out here, but a lot of people from Atlanta know this park from the world's largest 10K, which finishes right over here, Tim. It's called the Peachtree Road Race. It's right on July 4th. Brings out people of all shapes and sizes and all abilities. It's a really cool event, and they're all in here watching these sprinters. Loving it.
They are loving it, yeah, and a real inspiration. So many of these kids, the razzmatazz. And actually what's also great is they can get to see these athletes warming up, preparing all the little routines, those things that work for the athletes in the build-up to the race.
Kenny Harrison just walked by, and just to have the kids be able to say, hey, Kenny, I watched you at the Olympic Games, whatever. I mean, they are really up close and personal, and it's really neat that the athletes are taking the time to say hi to the next generation.
So these 5 athletes just about ready to go for this 200. It's due off at 6 p.m. The officials, the volunteers, all doing a fabulous job here in Piedmont Park. Let's take a look at these 6 athletes. There she is, Lauren Rain Williams-Jones, 24 years old, best of 22.51. That goes back 6 years, though. 23.48 this year. That was a windy run a couple of weeks ago. She's a former World Junior Championship silver medalist at 200 meters. Williams-Jones in 1.
Catch. Catch.
Elia Abrams of Guyana goes in lane 2. The 27-year-old is better known as a 400-meter runner. Came 5th in the world indoors 400 meters a couple of years back. Her best 400 is the national record for Guyana, 50.20. That was last year. Lynna Irby Jackson, the 25-year-old American, is a gold medalist from the Olympic Games in Tokyo 3 years ago, where she ran in the 4x400 team. She has run 49.8 for a flat 400. That was back in 2018. Her best 200, 22.25. And 22.7 this year is a great start to the season. Janelle Bromfield goes in lane 4. The 26-year-old Jamaican was a world indoor champion in the long relay back in 2022. She also has a bronze medal from the Olympic Games in Tokyo in the 4x400. Her best 200, 23.19 from a couple of years back. And Kennedy Blackman goes in lane 5. 22.5 last year. She's come close to 23 seconds this year. Ran in the 100-meter heats earlier on, her second race of the day.
On your mark.
Another full start. Many of these athletes, of course, haven't had many races yet this year. Quite often, track and field athletes come out in the spring strong and powerful, but they hone their skills, including starting procedures, as the season wears on. Didn't spot a full start there, did you, Karen?
I didn't either, but you know, there's some anxiety, a little bit of nervousness, because this is a different race, right? We normally have 200 on the track with the turn, and that is a huge mental thing to get through when you have to run a straightaway. They were talking about it yesterday. It's a different race. It's a different mentality. You have to think about what you're doing, and there might be just a little bit more thinking in the blocks than we're used to.
Well, the green card held up there for the athletes, thankfully. Just a faulty start. So for the second time of asking, under starters orders now. Reminder of that lineup: in lane 1 on the far side, Lauren Rain Williams-Jones. In lane 2, Alia Abrams. In lane 3, Lynna Irby Jackson. Janelle Bromfield goes in lane 4. And nearest the gun, Kennedy Blackman goes in lane 5. Well, away this time. Good strong running from Irby Jackson in lane 3. Herbie Jackson leading at the moment, going well on the near side. Kennedy Blackman as well in her second race of the day, working hard here, Herbie Jackson. A straight 200 metres, this is not often run. Herbie Jackson pushing hard in the middle, coming through well on the far side, Williams-Jones. But Herbie Jackson's going to take this one, pushing hard to the line. She wins by a couple of metres there from Kennedy Blackman. 22.68, and the wind there, well, it really was cruel. Minus 2.2 in the face of those athletes. And that is great running, frankly, in these conditions. 22.67, the win for Lina Herbie Jackson.
You can see her get out strong here. This is a long straightaway. They are thinking about how far away that finish line is. There isn't that turn to break it up. There isn't the 150 mark you're used to on the track. So they have got to regroup here halfway through and keep their eye on the prize. 22.67 for this straightaway track. This is really a good time for her. She's got to be excited. Look at that drive. Look at that determination. And there she goes.
Well, you know what? It's really tough when you get these straight races. I've run in a road mile where you can see the finish and you think, I better kick now, it's coming close. And of course, it's still about half a mile away and you can misjudge it. And I think the same applies to these sprints a little bit. It's tough at 200 meters straight. T, you got Herbie Jackson.
Lina Herbie Jackson, good to see you here in Atlanta. Great race. Now, this is different. You know, we usually have a curve for the 200, so talk about your preparation.
Yeah, this isn't my first time on a straightaway in the 2.
Okay.
So I just do what I always do, just get out and run.
I love it. So are you excited to see this speed portrayed in your 400, which is like your dominant event?
Yeah, I think speed is my strong suit, especially in the 4. So it's exciting to get in the 22s and stay there and continue to go down during the season.
I love that. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking to me. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, it helps if you've run a few of these things before and you know how to gauge your effort. I mean, of course, they've run many dozens of 200s before, but when it's a straight line, you haven't got that indicator. On a track where you run around the curve and then you come into the straight at halfway, you've got these sort of check marks that tell you how to spread your effort. But in a straight 200, very, very hard to get it right, easy to get it wrong. Lina Herbie Jackson gets it very right here today, 22.67 into a minus 2.2. That is a tough headwind. Kennedy Blackman, a season's best 22.96 to dip under 23 seconds. And Lauren Rain-Williams, 23.18. Well, that is a season's best for her as well, in fact. So there is the track being prepared for the next race, the 10th race of the day, the high school girls 100 meters. Let's take a look at the pole vault, which is continuing. Kristen Brown in this field opened at 4 meters 24, 13 feet 11. Kristen Brown in this field of 6. Molly Cordery, by the way, the pre-event favorite, didn't come in until 14.4 3/4. This is Bryn King at 4 meters 24. Kristen Brown went clear first time. So does Bryn King at 13 feet 11. Going well at the moment. Capable of much higher than that, of course. Alina McDonald. Well, this is she at 4:39. Second time of asking. She is a 4:68 vaulter. That was back in late March, so she too can go much higher. And Molly Cordery at 4 meters 39. Her opening height, 14 feet 4 3/4. She failed the first time, but she booms over that one. And the margin of clearance was massive. It looked like a couple of feet.
I love watching her compete. She is so ready to do something big besides winning that World Indoor Championship. She said her confidence is soaring, and she looks like she's soaring today.
Well, we'll come back and cover the very best of that, the rest of that women's pole vault, of course. Plenty to come as we go back to the track and the girls' 100 meters. Rimani Duffy in 1, Somto Iguilo in 2. Kira Beaumont was meant to be in lane 2. She has scratched Somto Iguilo in 3. Sana Frederick in 4. And then Zion Lockett goes in lane 5. Well, Duffy going in lane 1. Got to be nervous for these youngsters. Let's take a look at these 5 kids. The high school girls, 100 meters. They will have earned their places in this race. Well, there in lane 1 is Romani Duffy from Booker T. Washington High School. Has a season's best of 12:01. She's the state champion over 200 meters. She'll have an empty lane beside her. I know that in a lot of track and field athletics nowadays, when an athlete pulls out, rather than have an athlete isolated like that, they move them in, so they're running up against other athletes. But to Duffy, it looks as though she's in lane 1, and Kira Beaumont from North Cobb High School, who's due to be in lane 2, is a late withdrawal. I don't know if she felt a twinge in warm-up, but Duffy will have been inspired, I'm sure, by those performances of the superstars they've been watching for the last couple of hours. Somto Iguilo goes in lane 3, their center of picture. Iguilo is a freshman at Walton High School, ranked number 1 in Georgia, top 10 in the USA. She has the season's best of 11.38. Does Somto Iguilo watch her? She goes in 3. State runner-up in Class 7A, and number 5 all-time in Georgia. That is quite something. These athletes just getting themselves settled. Back to Duffy in 1. Of course, sprinting in lanes should be kind of with the blinkers on. Full focus on your lane. You can't affect the performances of those around you, but Duffy here is isolated to the right of picture there in 1. 2 is empty. 3, Somto Iguilo, there she is. And what a talent she is. 11:38, her season's best. Number 1 ranked in Georgia this year. Sana Frederick goes in lane 4. She's a senior from Druid Hills High School, ranked number 2 in Georgia. Her season best, 11:40. She's the state champion of 4.8. Part of 2 state record relays this year. Number 6 all-time in Georgia, Sana Frederick in 4. And the lineup completed by Zion Lockett, a senior at Westlake High School. She's a member of the Sapphire Rough Rider Club. 11:70, her season's best, ranked number 8 in Georgia. And she's broken 12 seconds 5 times this season. She's had a lot of races and a lot of success. That's Zion Lockett from Sapphire Rough Riders in 5. Good start there from Summer Frederick in lane 4, second to left. Frederick leading at the moment, beginning to come back to her is Iguilo, but Summer Frederick holding that lead for Druid Hills High School. She's going to take this one by a meter. The battle between her and Somto Iguilo, pulling them well clear of the rest. That's a big win for Summer Frederick. Well, 11:40, her season's best. 11:51 here in this girls' 100 meters. Waiting for those times to be confirmed. That wind plus 0.1. Can you believe the wind eased for them, Carrie?
So now Frederick gets out strong. She is the winner of the state 4A championships here, and she ran that way today. 11:40 was her season best today, or coming into this meet. Today she runs 11:51, so she's got to be pleased with that.
Well, I'm sure she will have been aware of Iguilo's pressure there. Iguilo, the taller of the two. But Frederick leading well here and holding off the pressure from Iguilo. 11:51 to 11:62. And T, I understand you've got Senna.
Sanai, great racing here in Atlanta. You're home now. It came down to the finish kind of towards the end. So is that what you're kind of used to?
Yes, me and my twin sister always go head in hand. So I'm very used to it.
I love it. Now, you told me that you and your sister are gearing up for the big girl Olympics for Trinidad and Tobago. How excited are you?
I'm so excited. It's such a blessing, and I can't wait. I know it's going to be very competitive, but I know I'm going to be ready.
I love it. Looking forward to seeing you. Congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
Well, really excited and a good steady head on her shoulders there.
Can you think of having a twin sister just as fast as you are? I mean, her poor parents, how did they keep up with them?
Good question, good question. There it is, 11:51. About a 1 meter win there over Assumpto Iguilo for Sanaa Frederick. Romani Duffy, 11:96. And Zion Lockett, 12:27. Good running from those four youngsters. Well, plenty more to come. The women's 150 coming up next.
Excuse me, this is not open. You said, this is not what I ordered.
You're late on your load.
I said, I'm sorry.
Are you bringing in tea?
You don't visit anymore.
Your card has been cancelled.
Okay, hold on. It's only rivalry.
Anthony Edwards lived.
It's only noise. It's only hard work. It's only a number. It's only breaking the laws of gravity. It's only getting back up and up and up. It's only a jump.
What?
Welcome back to Piedmont Park in Atlanta. Let's have a catch-up with this women's pole vault. We are seeing McDonald here. Alina McDonald already with that very heavily strapped right knee, and she's not happy about it. Struggling, bravely vaulting on her, the 26-year-old American. She is world-class. She's a 4'65" vaulter. Did that in Eugene a couple of years ago when she was second in the US Championships. But she has had her fair share of injuries. Injured in 2023, and that knee locking up on her, and that's really, really cruel. McDonald, well, she cleared 4'39", 14.4 3/4, the second time of asking, but unfortunately that has to abandon her third attempt at 4 meters up 54, 14.10 3/4. Her best vault of the day at 4'39". Well, the racing continues here in Piedmont Park. This is race 11 of 18, and there is the lineup for the women's 150 meters. It's a strong field, and that's Daryl Needham of Great Britain, who goes in lane 3 there in the center. She's run 16.4, actually, 4.8 her personal best. That was in second place here last year. Perhaps starts as favorite here. She's unbeaten in her 2 races outdoors this year. Well, there is Candice Hill, the 25-year-old American, goes in lane 1, ran a good 300 back in the middle of March, 36.7, so she's in good shape. Her personal best, 17.14. Goes back 7 years. She's a former world junior champion at 100 meters. Favour Offaly of Nigeria. Hasn't run a 150 before, but she's a 10.7, a 100-meter runner, although that was wind-assisted. She's a former World Junior Championship bronze medalist at 200 meters and a Commonwealth Games silver medalist over 200 2 years ago. Daryl Nieder of Great Britain goes in lane 3. Second here last year in 16.48. She's unbeaten in 2 races outdoors this year. She won the Diamond League in China a couple of weeks back over 200 meters. And then just last week, she won in Doha over 100 in 10.98. She's also an Olympic finalist and a World Championship finalist. Talitha Diggs goes in lane 4. Has never run a 150. She has personal best for 100, 11.01. And she's a 49.9 400-meter runner as well. So in between those performances, there's a great 150 waiting to come out. That's Diggs in lane 4. And Sarah Barnes goes in lane 5, completing the lineup. She too making her debut run here. Over 150 meters, semi-finalist at the World Indoor Championships over 60 meters for the USA in Glasgow just a couple of months back. Came 3rd in the US Indoor Championships in Albuquerque over 60 meters back in early March. So watch for a quick start from her, for Barnes. But 150 meters, that is tough distance to judge. Many of these athletes have never run this distance before.
On your marks.
Away first time, quickly into a running. Talitha Diggs second to left. Daryl Nieder beginning to come through now. Good running from Sarah Barnes through the first half of this race. Come through strongly now. Daryl Nieder, centre of the field. Is she going to take this one? It's very tight on the far side. Candice Hill having a wonderful run. And indeed, Favour Offaly finishing like a rocket there. The Nigerian from lane 2 was really tight between those two. Was it Candice Hill? Was it Favour Offaly? The American against the Nigerian in lanes 1 and 2 respectively. And it has been given to Candice Hill, 16.30 there. And unofficially, that could be a world record for Candice Hill, over 150. Favour Offaly, 16.30 as well, losing by 6 1,000ths of a second to Candice Hill. And unofficially, we've just seen a world record, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, how awesome. Watch this. We are all eyes on the middle of the lanes there. We're watching Daryl Nieder. She's been having an awesome season. But slowly but surely, the eyes started to go over to the side to see Candice Hill really start to push with a little lead and a potential world record that we saw today.
Well, Candice Hill was a world junior champion over 100 meters. Wait for it, folks. In 2016, 8 years ago, and she's back to her best. T.
Candice Hill, a world record!
Oh my God. I know, it's such a beautiful smile. Let's talk about your reaction. So, coming in the race, it's a 150. My coach said, make sure you drive all the way as far as you can, pick it up, and take it home. And so I'm glad that I won, got the world record, and in Atlanta, where I'm from, so I'm just very excited right now.
Atlanta, y'all better make some noise for one of your own, Candice Hill, a new world record!
Stuff, unbelievable stuff. We just saw a world record over 150. I think we'd say it's a world best. Officially, you can't call a 150 a world record, but it's the quickest 150 ever carried.
Yeah, but 3/4 of the way through, she still was making up space. She wanted to get to that finish line first, but she had to work for it. And to know that she was here at home, you know that gave her an extra push.
Well, look at that reaction.
Oh.
You would, wouldn't you? The fastest time ever over 150 meters, and she's taken down some big names. Daryl Needler running a personal best, but in 4th place, 16:44. Brilliant stuff. There it is. Unofficially a world record, officially a world best for Candice Hill over 150 meters here in Piedmont Park, Atlanta, at the 2nd edition of the Adidas Atlanta City Games. Great stuff. And Favor Offaly, but for 6 1,000ths of a second, she could call herself a world record holder.
Okay, hold on. It's only rivalry.
Anthony Edwards live.
It's only noise. It's only hard work. It's only a number. It's only breaking the laws of gravity. It's only getting back up and up and up. It's only a jump.
Excuse me, this is not open. This is not what I ordered.
You're late on your load.
I said I'm sorry.
You're bringing in tape.
You don't visit anymore.
Your card has been cancelled.
Time for race 12 here in Piedmont Park in Midtown Atlanta, Georgia. It's 6:25 local time here. It's a beautiful warm evening. And the good news, folks, is it looks less likely that we're going to get rain. And the wind has eased off. It's the wind for that world record over 150 just now was at 0. Still air they're running in. And that means it's good news for the fellas in this next race, the men's 200 meters. Dead straight 200 meters on this specially constructed track here in Piedmont Park. And it is a strong field. Now, there is the lineup. And the sad news is that Wade van Niekerk woke this morning, the world record holder of 400 meters, and said he had a sore back, a stiff back. He didn't want to risk anything. That's absolutely understandable. This is an Olympic year. You cannot take any chances. So Oblique Seville was in lane 5. He moves into lane 4. So in this men's 200 meters, 4 athletes out there in lane 1. Elijah Godwin, the 24-year-old American, who has a gold medal from the World Championships in Eugene a couple of years ago in the 4x400 meter relay. He is strong. He's a 44.3 to a 400 meter performer. His best 200, 20.32. Goes back a couple of years. Look for him to be strong in the latter stages of this straight 200. In lane 2, Dareem Richards of Trinidad and Tobago. He's a 19.80 performer. He'd set that when he won the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, UK, a couple of years ago. Ran in the World Relays just last couple of weeks ago. Ran in the 4x400 meters there. But he is quick and strong. 10.19 for 100. In lane 3, Antonio Watson of Jamaica. He's a 20.49 man at his best, 20.8 this year. He's the reigning world champion at 400 meters. That from Budapest last summer. Let's give a big Atlanta welcome to Antonio Watson, the reigning world champion. This a bit of speed work for Watson in lane 3, and completing the lineup from Jamaica, Oblique Seville. He's a 9.86 100-meter performer. A couple of years back, that is his main event. Many times under 10 seconds. Indeed, many times under 9.8. He is a special sprinter, this young man, 23 years old, and plenty of great performances in the colors of Jamaica in the sprint relay. Away they go then. 200 metres dead straight, very hard to judge right. Oblique Seville going well on the near side, possibly leading at the halfway stage. Oblique Seville pumping really hard here. They're trying to come back at him. The strength of Richards there in lane 2 is beginning to pull him back. Seville being chased down by Richards. Is Richards going to get there? It's a battle to the line, and Oblique Seville takes it 19.97. And that into a minus 1.1 wind. Brilliant stuff from Oblique Seville. Well, this is a man who has finished 4th, just outside the medals at the World Championships last year in Budapest and the year before in Eugene, Oregon. Twice 4th in the World Championships 100, but that's a big win.
Well, Seville had some focus here in the early stages of this race, and he kept it through the entire way. That is right, Tim. 4th at the last 2 international championships. You know he has something to prove this year, and he looks like it today. He is going strong. He had to hold off that late charge by Richards, and look at that right there. He is fired up, peeps. Let's hear it for him.
Great running behind him too. Jareem Richards in 2nd place, but that's a big win. 19.960.
Oh, Bleak! You was excited with your reaction. Explain to us what that reaction meant.
Well, I didn't come over here to expect this time, but seeing that time, I'm so excited to show that I'm in good shape.
I love that. Are you looking to dabble a little more in that 200 now?
I'm not sure. I have to decide it with my coach.
I understand. Now, you are 4th. You've got 4th back-to-back in these last World Championships. Oblique. That just means something big is upon us. So talk about what you're looking to build going into Paris 2024.
Well, for the past 2 years, the championship has made me, I have learned from them. Mm-hmm. So for this season, I see where I made my mistakes in the past. So now it's just to get it together.
I love it. Big up Jamaica. Big up you, Oblique. Congratulations on your win here in Atlanta.
All right, thanks. Big up to Coach Mills.
Coach Mills, he's coached a few big names over the years. That is an absolutely brilliant run from Oblique Seville. There it is, 19.96 from Oblique Seville. And yes, that is a personal best. It's his first time ever under 20 seconds. It was 20.17 before tonight. Jareem Richards, 20.04, a season's best, is good running as well. It's building nicely for the sprinters here in Atlanta. Well, we can go over to the pole vault now, and there is news from the pole vault. Molly Cordery, who has been in wonderful form. Here she goes, and Cordery cleared. Cordery at 4 meters 54, 14.10 and 3/4, just cannot get it right, and this is so unlike her. She cleared 4:39, 14.4 1/4 with a massive clearance, but this her 3rd and final attempt at that height, and she brings the bar down, and that is very uncharacteristic for Molly Cordery. Good to be brought back down to earth just occasionally, but we chatted with her yesterday. She's a delightful young lady, is Cordery of Great Britain, and she will bounce back from that, I know.
This will light a fire, and that's sometimes what you need mid-season. You need something to just kind of wake you up, get back home, and regroup.
Absolutely. Well, the women's 100-meter final is next up. And let's take a look at the start list for this one. There it is, Tamara Clark, Micaiah Briscoe, Gina Luckenkemper, who was the winner of the first heat, Alea Hobbs and Cambria Sturgis. That the lineup here in Atlanta. And as you can see, all these athletes have run well under 20 seconds. Under 11 seconds, excuse me. But who can go best here? Luckenkemper with that 10.95 personal best. That was back in the heats of the World Championships back in 2017, Luckenkemper, when she was just 20 years old. Hasn't been able to improve upon it, but she is a great competitor. You know, it's not always about producing massive performances. It's about producing adequate performances on the big occasions, and many athletes crumble under the pressure of championship racing. Well, Luckenkemper is a specialist in getting it right. Well, let's take a look at these 5 athletes now. Tamara Clark, she goes in lane 1. Clark was second in the second heat in 11.27. Clark, well, her best is 10.88 from the semi-finals of the US Championships back in 2022. She can go a lot quicker than that 11.27. She's in lane 1.
Test.
Micaiah Briscoe goes in lane 2. She was second in the first heat, 11.16, close behind Luckenkemper, the German. She goes in lane 2. And Briscoe, well, good athlete, 5th in the world indoors. Look for a quick start from her. She was second here last year when this meet was in Centennial Park. Luckenkemper, the German, goes in lane 3 in the center of the 5 athletes. Winner of the first heat an hour or so ago, 11.09 the time from Luckenkemper, and that was into a minus 0.8 wind. The wind has improved, remember folks, it was headwinds for the first hour or so of this meeting. Well, now it's a still wind, if not a slight tailwind for these athletes. In lane 4, Alea Hobbs, the defending champion. Hobbs winning the second heat in 11.17, marginally slower than Luckenkemper's winning time of the first heat, but it was into a minus 1.2 wind. And Alea Hobbs, the winner last year in 10.99, would love to repeat that here. She's in 4. Cambria Sturgis goes in lane 5, completing the lineup. Sturgis was 3rd in the first heat in 11.27. And Sturgis, who is a 10.8 performer at her best, 10.87 a couple of years ago, former NCAA champion in lane 5, can go well here.
On your marks.
Well, away they go. Really quick running by Hobbs. Alea Hobbs in lane 4, leading at the moment. They're trying to come back at it, but Alea Hobbs holding on really well. Wins there by meter. Luckenkemper coming through, but I don't know if she got second place. I think Briscoe probably took second place. 10.89 there for Alea Hobbs, unofficially. Fabulous sprinting there, and it's 10.88 is confirmed. Wow. Well, that is not far off the fastest time in the world this year, and it equals the season's best for Alea Hobbs. Brilliant stuff from lane 4. Luckenkemper never really got into a running in this final. Tamara Clark, 10.98, also dips under 11 seconds, but T, down to you with the winner.
Alea, they going crazy. Equals your season best, which has to feel good leading into the serious part of this season. So how will you make this team?
Like I said, I just need to stay healthy, train hard. My coach said I'm healthy, I'm running fast. So I'm just out here just one race at a time.
I love that. Now, you are back-to-back here in Atlanta. Are you in the mood for a little celebration?
Hey, we can do something. We can do a little something.
DJ 412, give Leah something. Bow. Bow.
Alea Hobbs then, winner 12 months ago, winner today, 10.99 12 months ago, 10.88 here today, evening her season's best. That's a big win, a quick time, and plus 0.5 that win, only a marginal following win for Alea Hobbs. Brilliant stuff, it sets up the season wonderfully. Tamara Clark, under 11 seconds as well. She equals her season's best, 10.98. And Mikaela Briscoe right on the money, 11 seconds exactly with a season's best. Well, Gina Lookin-Kemper, 11.01. She'll be disappointed with the competition there. Fourth, though, in 11.01. And Cambria Sturgis, 11.14. Her consolation is a season's best as well. So great results for these athletes in good conditions here in Piedmont Park. And let me pass you down to Carrie Tollefson.
All right, I'm here with Spencer Nell again from Adidas, but also Maurice Green, one of the most decorated athletes we've ever seen here in track and field. Maurice, we got to show you something on the screen here that happened 20 years ago. So let's roll this clip, peeps. Can you talk us through it a little bit? Does this bring back memories?
Yeah, it does. It brings back a lot of memories. At this time, I was just, just thinking I would just want to go out here and do something special for the crowd. I always wanted to do something and make everybody remember it for a long time of what I did. So.
Well, 2004 was a long time ago, but you were flying here. You go through the line, you turn back quick, and then what?
Yeah, my feet got a little hot, so I had to get somebody to come and, hose my feet down with a fire extinguisher.
Did you know this was going to happen, Maurice? Let's watch it.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I planned this like a week before this had happened. I just wanted to give, track and field something good to talk about for a couple of weeks. So.
Well, you and Noah Lyles now. Noah Lyles has taken your lead here. Spencer, we know that you guys have loved this guy for years. What do you have to tell Maurice Green?
Yeah, just wanted to say, we wanted to commemorate the moment. I happened to be there. Maurice had just joined the family. We didn't know it was going to happen, so we were as surprised as everybody else in the stadium. And to commemorate the moment, we've got a little something we want to give Maurice. So if you can hand that over to me, Jasmine. There you go. A little something. Take a look at that. There you go.
Well, Maurice, what do you think of those blue shoes?
No, I like it. Thank you. Adidas always comes up with something great, so that's my family.
Case in point right here. Maurice, thank you so much for what you do for the sport. Spencer, you here at Adidas. You guys, this is one of the best ever. Let's hear it for Maurice Green.
Absolutely, what a wonderful champion he was in his time, Maurice Green, world champion, world record holder, and that was special. Fire extinguisher on the spikes. Whose idea was that? There's the lineup for this men's 100-meter final. Udodi Onwuzurike, Kendall Williams, Akami Simbine of South Africa, Ferdinand Omanyala of Kenya, and Ronnie Baker of the USA. The invasion of the African sprinters it is in this event. Simbine and Omanyala will be tough to beat. There's no doubt about that, especially Omanyala of Kenya with that quick personal best, 9:77. Well, let's take a look at these 5 athletes in this 100 meters. Udodi Onwuzurike, 9.92 personal best from last year. The Nigerian goes in lane 1. Former world junior champion over 200 meters. He was 3rd in his heat in 10.25. Kendall Williams, well, he goes in lane 2. Williams, he was 2nd in the 2nd heat here today. His time 10.12. Williams, though, is a 9.9 performer. Watch him as a good lane draw, lane 2. Akani Simbine. He won the first heat in 10.10. It was the quickest time of the first round, and the South African will be very keen here to lead the others home. Simbine, 30 years old, is a 9.8 performer at his best, and we know conditions are much better now than an hour or so ago when the heats were run. Ferdinand Omanyala, on paper the quickest in the field. He was the winner of the second heat for Kenya. He's not a marathon runner, he's not a 10,000 meter runner, he is a rocket out of the blocks. Ferdinand Omanyala goes in lane 4. And completing the lineup, talk about rockets out of the blocks. Ronnie Baker for the USA, the third fastest man in history over 60 meters. Ronnie Baker getting second in the first heat an hour or so ago in 10.25.
On your marks. Set.
Oh, really quick start there from Omanyala. I thought maybe he jumped the gun, but he gets away pretty well. Second to left, Omanyala going well. Simbine trying to come back, and Simbine through the second half. Eases away to a 1 meter lead. Fabulous last 25 from Simbine. The South African takes the men's 100 meters. Omanyala led through the first half, but was it an African 1-2? We're waiting for confirmation of that. It was very tight indeed. Akani Simbine is victorious here in Piedmont Park. He won his heat earlier in 10:20. What is his time here? We're just waiting for that time to come up. The timing system just a little slower up here on our computers. But no doubting the win there for Simbine.
Well, Omanyala got out hard. He went for it fast early on, but Simbine told us he needed patience. Patience. Every single step counts. 9.90 for that final time. Let's bring it down to T.
Talk about the flag. Who gave you the flag?
Hey, man, my fellow South Africans over there gave me the flag, you know, representing South Africa. Happy with the win. Happy to be out here.
I love it. Now, there's a lot of debate going on about who's the king of African sprinting. Now, are you ready to be a part of the conversation?
Hey, man, I've always been part of the conversation. I never left. Yeah. So, hey, we'll see.
Talk about it. I love it. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Congratulations on the great win here in Atlanta.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Big statement going into the Olympics. I never left.
I'll tell you what, 9.90 into a slight headwind. That is spectacular sprinting. What a pair of fabulous 100-meter finals we've had here. 10.88 by Aliyah Hobbs in the women's 100 and 9.90, a world lead there in the men's 100 meters. The brilliant sprinting of Akani Simbine sees him a meter clear of Ferdinand Omanyala. It was a 1-2 for Africa. Kendall Williams 10.05 in third on Wuzurike, and Ronnie Baker a little way down. 9.90, that is special. Wow. Well, we're rocking through these last few races. Next up on the track is race 15, the high school boys 100-meter hurdles. But we can go back to the pole vault now, Kerry.
I hear you say that, but at the same time, I don't believe it. You don't believe it.
Let's take a look at the pole vault. And Bryn King, well, she's taken a big name down here today. The 23-year-old came here with a personal best of 4 meters 68. But Bryn King has at 4 meters 54 a second time clearance. That is 14 feet 10 and 3/4. Well, that is her third and final attempt at 4 meters 73. That would have been a new lifetime best, 15 feet 6 1/4. But it matters not, because Simbine was winning the 100 meters in 9.90, and Bryn King, well, all her best performances this year coming to a climax here with 4 meters 54, 14.10 and 3/4. Molly Cordery, well, she will go back to the drawing board with her dad Stuart, and I'm sure get it right next comp out. But the Britain beaten on this occasion after taking world indoor gold just a couple of months back.
I'm sorry, though. Anytime you have an opportunity to be one of the best, no matter where you are, here at the Adidas Atlanta City Games or at the World Champs, and anytime you beat a world champion, that catapults your career, and I hope that Bryn King takes that energy now into her outdoor season here.
Well, we can go over to the women's long jump now. And Ese Brume. Opened with 6 meters 68, the little Nigerian. And Broome, 6 in the jumping order of these 8 athletes. Well, Broome with a really solid opener. Anna Hall in her second event of the day. Broome jumping 6.87 with her third round effort, 22 feet 6.5, pushing out towards 7 meters. That is big jumping, Kerry. And Anna Hall with that left knee pretty heavily strapped, clearly operating here with a slightly compromised level of performance.
It is a tough thing to come back from injury, but she did say she became a different athlete. She worked on a lot of different strengths that she needed. And, you know, when she can put it all together, that might be the blessing in disguise that she needs to go back and win an Olympic gold.
Well, Anna Hall knows it's a long journey back from injury to get to full fitness. She's got time, 11 weeks till those Paris Olympic Games, although she has to negotiate the American Olympic trials, which are 5 weeks away.
And somebody that's having just a stellar season and everything seems to be clicking is Tara Davis-Woodall. Like, you know, she just seems like when she steps out there, she's happy, she's excited, she's focused, and she's ready.
Yes, come on, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to make some noise for Tara Davis.
So, Davis-Woodall then. Now she opened with 6.96. That's 22 feet 10. Then she improved at almost another inch to 6 meters 98. That's 22 feet 10 3/4. This a round 3 effort. Doesn't have a big lead. Cornelia Burks, 6.89. That's 22 feet 7 1/4 in the second round. So she leads by 9 centimeters. That's about 3.5 inches. But she'd love to push out here beyond 7 meters. Tara Davis-Woodall, round 3. Oh. What a great reaction. And that is a no jump. She just saw the red flag go up. And hence that collapse into the sand. Dramatic stuff. Anna Hall there in yellow, cheering on her teammate. Great height, wonderful leg shoot. Oh, I think that would have been a big one as well. What a shame.
What an entertainer, though. It's so fun to watch her, see her interact with all of the athletes around here. She really is great for the sport.
Well, we're halfway through that long jump, 3 rounds to come. Let's go back to the track, though, for race 15 on the day. It's the high school boys 100-meter hurdles. There is the scene, the jump zone. Let's take a look at the start list for the 5 lads in this 110-meter hurdles. Joseph Williams, Aaron Jones, Dominic Northington, Jordan Reddick, and Dalen Benson make up this field. So tough, so demanding, the high hurdles. Let's take a look at these fellas. Well, Dalen Benson, first out. Dalen Benson, a junior at Sandy Creek High School, season's best of 14.05. He's a 3A state champion, Fayette Coweta County's champion as well. He goes in lane 5. Joseph Williams goes in lane 1 for Alpharetta High School. Williams has a season's best of 14.11. He's a 6A state champion, season best as I said, of 14.11. In lane 4, Jordan Reddick of Marietta High School. 13.93, his season's best. He's ranked number 3 in Georgia. He's the state champion in Class 7A and region champion and Cobb County champion as well. Going in lane 3, Dominic Northington of Woodland High School, Stockbridge. He's our number 1 in Georgia, number 7 in the USA. Best of 13.65 this season. He's a state runner-up. And completing the lineup in lane 2, Aaron Jones of Archer High School, ranked number 4 in Georgia, 14.01 his season's best. Wouldn't it be great to get under 14 here tonight? Runner-up in Class 7A. His only loss of the season was to Jordan Reddick, who goes in lane 4. Aaron Jones goes in lane 2. He's a Gwinnett County champion too. Well, these guys, these fellas getting ready for this boys 110-meter hurdles, high school boys 110-meter hurdles. Anna Hall here knows she's got to nail a solid jump here, Kerry, if nothing spectacular.
She just doesn't look like she's quite got that rhythm back yet, but she's working her way through it, which you have to do coming back from injuries.
And it's about confidence too, isn't it? When you're on a limb or a joint that's had a lot of work on it, a lot of problems, you need to be mentally strong about it.
For sure. I asked her what her talents were outside of all of these talents that she shows on the field and on track, and she said she likes to play guitar. She doesn't know if she's very talented at it. We've not heard her, I'm sure she is, but she said she used that to kind of get herself through it, to get away from the sport at times.
Don't you hate people who are great at everything?
She
I thought you were going to
is.
say she's a rocket scientist or something.
Well, she probably is that too.
So we're looking at the 5 boys in this high school boys 110-meter hurdles.
Oh, Grant Holloway's yelling at you, Tim. I mean, you think if these guys can see this bright yellow on this man that has won time and time again, and his smile that lights up every room.
That's a great point.
I mean,
that's a great
they're
point.
coming at this man, Grant Holloway, who does no wrong when he does the hurdles.
These young boys, this is beautiful. You can't see it on camera, but right at the end of the straight, we're 110, 120 meters away from these young fellas. Grant Holloway is waiting in a yellow vest to welcome them home. The world record holder indoors, 3 times world outdoor champion. If we could drop that camera down, just bottom of picture, you'd see Grant Holloway kind of gesturing at these fellas.
Yeah, he's scouting out his competition.
Just behind the finish line, Grant Holloway, if this camera dropped down the track, so sort of right down towards the finish line, we would see Grant Holloway. He's standing around. It's a nice temperature. It's a beautiful atmosphere in the park. The wind has dropped.
Yep. Robert Dunning sitting on the edge there. We know we have a 6A state champion here in the field. Well, Robert Dunning was a 6A state champion. Now he's going for Olympics and world championship titles and things like that. Trains with the great Grant Holloway. Pretty awesome.
So let's take a look.
There he is.
These 5 young fellas. There is Grant Holloway just limbering up, keeping loose for his 110-meter hurdles final, which is due off straight after this race, funnily enough. Okay. Here are these 5 fellas. Let's take a look at them from the far side to the right. A picture in lane 1. Joseph Williams sees his best of 14.11. He's a 6A state champion for Alpharetta High School. In lane 2, Aaron Jones, a junior at Archer High School, ranked number 4 in Georgia, season's best of 14.01. In 3, right in the center, a senior, Dominic Northington from Woodland High School, number 1 in Georgia this year. In lane 4, Jordan Reddick, the senior at Marietta High School. In lane 5, Dalen Penson, a junior at Sandy Creek High School. Great start from Penson, left a picture in lane 5. Going really well at the moment, Dominic Northington. Taking these barriers in his stride really smoothly, coming through Aaron Jones, but he's hitting barriers. Northington, though, is holding off the pressure, wins that by a meter. Good run off the final barrier, 13.91 for Dominic Northington from Woodland High School. Great running. He was number 1 in Georgia before the race. He's number 1 here tonight. Not near his season's best of 13.65, but 13.91 did the job.
Was we're watching, looking in the middle there, Northington heading over those hurdles. This guy has a little bit of revenge. He was runner-up at his state championship. You know he came here wanting to run well, and look at how clean his race was. He got out fast. He used the middle of the lane to really go for it, and look at that lean.
And let's go down to T with the winner.
I'm here with Dominic Northington. So you led from the front from the beginning. Are you used to racing like that?
Yes, ma'am. So, usually I don't have no confidence once in hurdles. Okay. But today was a great day to get out with these boys, have some great comp. I really enjoyed myself today.
I love that. Now, you told me you haven't experienced anything like this, so just talk about that. How fun is this?
For me to be a football guy, this track, it was amazing to be out here with all these amazing people, amazing fans, have such an amazing crowd. I really enjoyed myself tonight.
I love that. Now, are you doing any meets from here? Where do you go?
I go to Woodland High School in Stockbridge, Georgia.
I mean, like, what meets are you going to next?
Shoot, I want to try to U20.
Okay, hey, go for the team. It's a team to make, okay? Well, congratulations on your win today, and looking forward to seeing you more for the rest of the year.
Thank you for having me.
What a smart head. What a smart head on the shoulders of young Dominic Northington there, the winner of the high school boys 110-meter hurdles. I think we'll be seeing quite a lot more of that young man.
Super glad to see that the USA is going to send the U20 team this year. For a while we weren't, so they'll be heading over to Lima, Peru, and hopefully he'll be on that team.
Winning by a metre there, Dominic Northington. Good running from Aaron Jones, 14.04 in second place. Dalen Penton make it onto the rostrum as well in third place. Well, back to this women's long jump. And Quanisha Burks, how old is she? Opened with 681, then 689 in the second round, 673 in round 3. That's her fourth round jump. That's her second round jump, 689, 22 feet 7 1/4. What she produced there. Her reaction, usually you can tell from their reaction, Carrie, and these athletes in the long jump, they usually know within a couple of inches or an inch or two of how well they've jumped. So I'm not sure that was a big one. Does she like it? She's looking at a replay.
And Tara Davis-Woodall is looking for the crowd to get into it. But, you know, we have 3 of the top 5 ranked jumpers here today, and it's pretty awesome to see that they're not shying away from each other. They're coming together to see how they can get better before they head to the Olympic trials in 5 weeks' time.
So Davis-Woodall then has the lead, 6 meters 98 in the second round. That's 22 feet 10 3/4. She's got a little cushion. What, about 3.5 inches over Quanisha Burks. Both of them producing those big jumps in the second round, and pretty much in still air, no wind helping them or in their faces. But this is the 4th round effort for Tara Davis-Woodall.
She would be a good conductor. Thumbs up. Good pace.
Build a rhythm and an acceleration. Those last 2 or 3 strides, and that's another nice effort from Woodall. Davis-Woodall, she doesn't look ecstatic with it. She's already produced a couple of massive efforts with her first and second round jumps. No jump in the third round.
Oh, she wanted his glasses. She said, can I see your glasses? But you know,
let's take a look at it. We can't get that side-on shot of the foot and the board.
Anna Hall trying to get that rhythm for her.
And that red flag goes up straight away. No hesitation at all from the official. Davis-Woodall will be frustrated with that. But she's got 2 rounds to come. Let's go back to the track for the final of the men's 110-meter hurdles. And there is the lineup. Robert Dunning, Louis Rollins, Grant Holloway, world record holder indoors over 60-meter hurdles. Mike Dixon in 4, and Miles Hunter in lane 5.
All these competitors, here we go. We got Anna Hall. She's taking her next attempt.
Let's take a look then
there you go.
These fellas as they prepare, having watched the youngsters perform just a few minutes ago. So, Hunter goes in lane 5. Miles Hunter He set a personal best in his heat, 13.55. He would have been already really fired up by that. Can he go better here? In better conditions, frankly, than in his heat an hour or so back. In lane 4, Rob Dunning. And just the crowd just looking at some jets passing overhead, some military jets in formation passing overhead. But Dixon goes in lane 4. In lane 1 is Dunning. Remember Rob Dunning second in this meet last year with 13.09. He ran 13.69 in his heat earlier on. He's certainly capable of quicker than that. Here is Dixon. He goes in lane 4. Dixon, well, the heat winner of the first heat earlier in 13.65. Good lane draw for him, drawn up alongside the world record holder over 60 hurdles and a superb technician. Rollins goes in lane 2. Louis Rollins finished with a season's best of 13.51 in second place in that second heat, and that into a strong headwind of minus 1.6. Well, I don't think conditions are like that now. They've improved significantly for these fellas. Rollins in lane 2. And in the yellow, waiting patiently, last but not least, he goes in lane 3 in this 110-meter hurdles final. Let's give a big welcome to the 3-time world champion, Grant Holloway. He's broken 13 seconds 6 times outdoors. He won his heat here today in 13.22 into a strong headwind. How close can Grant get to 13 seconds here in Atlanta? So it has grayed over a little bit. The wind just gusting here around Midtown. Let's hope it's behind these fellas in this 110-meter hurdles final. And in that women's long jump, looking at Tisana Hickling, down in 5th place at the moment with 6.50. That came in round 3, 21 feet 4. This is her 5th round effort. Nice hang technique there from the Jamaican Tisana Hickling. Now 6.50, her best. 21 feet 4, came in round 3. She had a no jump in round 4. Let's have another look at Tisana Hickling here. Good speed, nice rhythm. And does she get the white flag? I think she does. No red flag going up there early on, but it's not as big. 6 meters 37, 20 feet 10 3/4, so no improvement. Not sure there wasn't a slight adjustment, couple of strides out, which compromised that distance. Well, there's the seam carry. The weather's not improving, is it?
Well, it's kind of been in and out, right? I mean, we've had some sun, we have some cloud coverage again, but it doesn't look super threatening. Now watch, I just jinxed it, but it looks pretty good, and we're hoping that it can stay dry here. We've got a couple more big races coming up.
We do. This is race 16 of 18. And Grant Holloway will be looking here to produce something to ignite this crowd even further.
Well, I was reading that Coach Holloway, no relation to Grant Holloway, they are, you know, teammates, and he is coaching him, but he said it's all about the first 3 to 4 steps. He said it's like pushing a car that has run out of gas. If you don't have power in the first 3 to 4 steps, it won't go anywhere. So that's something they really work hard on. They got to get out of the blocks, and they got to get momentum going into those hurdles.
So Holloway taking his time then. This race actually due off this 110-meter hurdles final at 7:10. So they've got a couple of minutes yet. Go over to S.A. Broom there in the long jump. Little Nigerian, real powerhouse. She's in 3rd place. This is her 5th round effort she's building towards. 6 meters 87 in round 3, and a really strong series of jumps from her. That's her best, 6.87, 22 feet 6.5. And she's less than an inch behind Quanisha Burks who's in second place with 6:89, 22 feet 7 1/4. Now, S.A. Bruin, what can she produce?
Gwen Torrance.
Nice strong rhythm, really powerful off the board, the Nigerian.
Come on. Where you at, Gwen Torrance? Give me a hand up.
So we're nearly ready then with these 5 fellas in this 110-meter hurdles final. Can't miss out Grant Holloway in that yellow vest, can you?
No, and I love it because it is fun to see. For us, we are looking all the way down the track there. It is a little bit of a way, so it's nice to have different colors represented.
On your marks.
F12.
Stand up, please.
Ooh, Grant Holloway not happy with something there. I don't know if it's the amount of noise from the crowd or what. The crowd so enthusiastic here.
Please fix it.
But when these fellas get into their blocks, folks, we need to quieten down and let them listen for that gun. So often major championships, a shriek from the crowd or the clicking of a camera can set these guys off early. And all too often that can mean disqualification. And if it's an Olympic final, hey, it matters. So once again from the far side then, this men's 110-meter hurdles final, Rob Dunning goes in lane 1. Louis Rollins in 2. Grant Holloway, the reigning world champion outdoors in this discipline, goes in 3. Dixon goes in 4. He won his heat in 13:65, Mike Dixon. And in lane 5 is Miles Hunter, a personal best in his heat.
Set.
Good start there from Holloway. Gets the jump on the field really fast through the first 3 or 4 barriers. Look at Grant Holloway. He's as smooth as anything over these barriers. Watch the gap grow. Watch the time. This will be quick. 13:10 for Holloway. Beautiful running. 13:07 for Grant Holloway. That is the fastest time in the world this year.
Yes! Look at that height. He is pumped.
It is, of course, a season's best. But Grant Holloway honing in on sub-13 territory.
He's drinking something down there, but look at him get out. He is pumped. He got out those first few hurdles. Looked so smooth, as you said, but the power behind how he runs. Look at the drive, the focus he has. It is going to be one fun summer if this guy can run like this in Paris.
He's like liquid mercury over those middle barriers.
He's one smooth operator.
Do you know what? I thought that was going to go sub-13. 13:07 there in a minus 0.7 wind. Yet a slight headwind there, Grant. There is so much more to come. Brilliant sprint hurdling. Thank you. And Rob Dunning, 13:40, a season best. Great second. T, down to you.
World lead. I'm down here with Grant Holloway. Grant, explain the reaction, what you was drinking. Talk to us about it.
Hey, Tim, do I look a little bit better in shape now? No, I really wanted to come out here. Training's been good. I just knew what I was capable of. To run that into a negative win, sky's the limit. And that was an alcoholic beverage. Kids under 21, stay away.
Now, Grant, we talked a few years ago. You told me you didn't want to do any other events until you got your Olympic gold. But I've been hearing you've been suggesting a few other events. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Man, just let's give the people what they want. I mean, everybody wants to see me around the bend. Everybody wants to see me come around the turn. Let's take care of business first in the 110s, and sky's the limit, like I said.
I love it. Thank you so much for stopping by, man.
Superb. He is so positive, so confident, and rightly so. Grant Holloway, the sky is the limit. Let's take a look at the result of that win for the reigning world champion. And he would desperately love to improve on one place from his result in Tokyo, the Olympic Games 3 years ago when he finished in silver medal position. He was mighty frustrated with that, losing to Hansel Parchment of Jamaica. Well, he's a winner here today, 13.07, the fastest time in the world this year, and into a headwind. Rob Dunning, 13.40, a season's best for him. Miles Hunter, his second personal best of the day in third, 13.50. Brilliant stuff from Hunter to make third.
Oh, I love that Grant Holloway said, let's give the people what they want. We want to see him get the gold in Paris, but it would be fun to see him run some different events. And he drank that adult beverage pretty fast. Does he do everything fast?
Did you say adult beverage?
That's what he called it. I don't know what it was.
I thought he called it alcoholic
No,
beverage.
he said adult beverage because the kids don't drink until you're 21.
I've never heard of that before. Let's go over to the women's 100 hurdles final, though. Here's the start list. Yannick Thompson, Demisha Roswell, Toby Amazan, the world record holder, Kenny Harrison, former world record holder, and Cindy Semper. This is a beautifully poised position, isn't it? Because Toby Amazan back in 2022 in the semi-finals of the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon, taking the world record away from Kenny Harrison that had lasted for 6 years, and that had to smart a little bit. Kenny's a seasoned old campaigner.
She is, but you know what she said after her heat? She said, I like the pressure. She was all game-faced. She's ready to run. And you know, when you are that confident, you're that focused, it is nice sometimes to have a little bit of pressure on you. She wants that world record back, and we know that.
Well, it is quick. I think many people were rubbing their eyes when Toby Amazan produced that 12-12 performance in Eugene. He went on to win the final in 12:20, another quick time. But we have good news from the long jump. We'll bring you that as quickly as we can. In fact, we can bring it for you right now. Well, we know Tara Davis-Woodall is in great shape. She opened with 6.96 meters, second round 6.98 meters. Then a couple of no jumps. That frustration coming out here in round 5. Fabulous height, wonderful leg shoot, and she knew it was good. Wow, 7.17 meters in the 5th round, 23 feet 6 1/4. That is huge from Tara Davis-Woodall.
Awesome.
Well, let's take a look at the finalists in this women's 100-meter hurdles then. And Cindy Semper, she goes in lane 5. Best of 12.50, Cindy Semper. Third in a heat in 12.81, the British record holder. Yannick Thompson goes in lane 1. Personal best at 12.53. Thompson of Jamaica, well, she was second in her heat in 12.64 into a strong headwind. Conditions are better now. Kenny Harrison goes in lane 4 in that all-yellow strip. Winner in a heat earlier on into a -1 meter per second headwind in 12.69. The former world record holder goes in lane 4, right up alongside the world record holder. And Roswell, Demisha Roswell of Jamaica, she goes in lane 2. Second in a heat in 12.76. 12.44 her lifetime best. She's been close to that already this year. How close can she go here now? And last but not least, the world record holder, Toby Amazan of Nigeria. She won a heat in 12.64, the fastest time of the qualifying round. That world record, 12.12. Anything down around 12.5, 12.6 here would be fabulous. The wind is up. Let's hope it's a slight following wind for these 5 athletes in the women's 100-meter hurdles final. Final adjustments to the blocks for these ladies. Don't forget, folks, when the gun is up, please keep as quiet as possible. Who's your money on, Carrie?
Well, we got to speak to Toby yesterday, and she is super focused. But what I really liked about her, she still has this glimmer in her eye. She's excited. She's having fun, and she said that. I said, what do you think about when you put your head down at night? And she said, I just want to keep having fun. I want to have work hard. But every single race, she learns something about herself. She learns how to be better over the 5th hurdle, or she learns how to start, or she just learns how much grit she has. But this woman right here, Kenny Harrison, she is all about the win. She wants to run fast, and she is devoted this year. You know that she wants to come out and have a better year.
Well, tongue-in-cheek, I asked Toby Amuzan yesterday if she thought the barriers should be raised a little bit in the women's 100-meter hurdles, because that would favor the great technicians, and she is a great technician. And she gave me a look
She did
to
not.
make me
No.
with her. If looks could kill, I
Yep.
wouldn't be sitting here now.
Yep, she said, no way, Jose, I want to keep it how it is. She likes it. She said she got her nails done and she did not like those, but then everyone's been telling her how they like them, so she's kind of feeling that. But, you know, it's just fun to hear her energy, her excitement for the sport. I mean, all these ladies, it's been really cool being at the hotel and seeing these fierce competitors, but yet they're having fun together. They're talking about what their plans are, and you know, this is a sport where you warm up with your competitors. You kind of, you know, rub shoulders with people that you just can't wait to beat. But then you're friends at the end of the day.
Absolutely right, yeah. Gloves come off when you're in your blocks. There used to be a saying, nice guys finish second.
Oh.
But,
well, I mean, and that's what I was saying.
I don't
even
adhere to it myself.
when we were watching Toby in her heats, like, I was so in the moment, I was saying there's a killer edge to her almost, you know? And we've heard some of the greats. Don Harper Nelson told me, I wanted to kill everybody on the track. And you know
Really?
you know what she means as an athlete, right?
I do, but you know what? It makes me think of Usain Bolt, who was the most chill
Oh,
guy in the world.
so is
He was so
Don.
relaxed, so friendly, smiling.
But they work so hard, and every single ounce of energy goes into this. And every single ounce of energy matters when you're running a short race like this. So, yeah, I mean, bring on that lethal attitude. Let's go.
Let's bring on this women's 100 hurdles final. Away they go then, really good start from Kenny Harrison. Amuzando beginning to pull ahead of her, or is she? It's really tight between these two. Harrison eases into the lead, and Harrison's going to take it by half a meter. 12.68, but look at the win, minus 2.3.
Wow.
That is quick sprint hurdling into a strong headwind. And Kenny Harrison, well, do you know what? Kenny got a wonderful start. Then she came under some pressure mid-race from Amuzan, who started coming back at her. I thought was maybe going to catch her. But then Kenny, through the last 2 or 3 flights, very, very strong. She rallied and eases away to a pretty comfortable win.
You're right. She did have a great start, and then she had to wake up a little bit. Look at this start. So focused. Each and every hurdle is coming her way, but then she had to work a little bit. This is where she had to wake up. Look at the final 2 hurdles where she starts to pull away. Kenny Harrison is focused, and she's ready.
Wow, let's head down to T, I'm sure, with a smiling Kenny Harrison.
Kenny, huge win in your season opener. I mean, where do we go from here? How do we build on this momentum?
I think there's always things that I can improve on. Got to go back, look at film, and get ready for my next race.
I love that. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking some time with us.
Thank you.
Well, brilliant. She'll watch that and tweak tiny things. You know, they are millimetre. They work things out to the millimetre, these sprint hurdlers. Kenny Harrison winning 12.67 over Tomi Amuzan. That'll give the Nigerians some fire in their belly. That'll smart. Cindy December a good third. 12.86 in that strong headwind. Well, the next event on the track is the final event of the day. Final event of 18 is the men's 150 meters. A rarely run event, but nonetheless, it is an event that now commands a lot of respect because people know just how quick this race can be and how good the quality of this field is. Well, Taekwondo Tracy goes in lane 5, the 30-year-old Jamaican making his debut over 150 meters. He has run 10.15 this year. That was in Kingston just last week in Jamaica. He's a 9.96 performer at 100. Alexander Ogando of the Dominican Republic is a 24-year-old. He's never run a 150 either. This year, though, 20.2 for 200 and a really quick 300, 32.18. Watch him to be strong in the second half. Ogando goes in lane 1. Josephus Lyles, the younger brother of a certain Noah. He too making his debut here over 150. He's a 19.9 performer over 200. That a couple of years ago, and he's strong. 45.0 for 400. He's in form. Great Britain's Zarnell Hughes goes in lane 2. He was European champion over 100 in 2018. He's the reigning European champion over 200. For Great Britain, the 28-year-old making his debut here over 150. He also holds British records at 100 and 200. And completing the lineup, a certain man who is 6 times world champion. Please welcome Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, ladies and gentlemen, last year in Budapest, Hungary, at the World Championships, he was the athlete of the championships. 3 gold medals he left Hungary with. World champion at 100, world champion at 200, and he's world champion in the sprint relay for the USA. Lyles goes in lane 3. Well, there's a big year, Carrie, for Noah Lyles, and this is a big stepping stone towards those Olympic trials in 5 weeks' time, and then hopefully Paris, what, about 5 or 6 weeks later?
Well, it's been interesting to hear what Lance Brumman, his coach, has been doing with him. I mean, they've been working on all of the little things which we talk about as athletes, but his start, being in the weight room, lifting more aggressively, you know, just applying all of the things that you need to do to be the world's best. We've seen that he can do it. But can he do it at the Olympic Games? There's a lot of people gunning for him. He obviously still needs to do some things this outdoor season, but he's ready for it. He's excited and happy.
No, that's exactly right. And of course, he went to Tokyo 3 years ago as favorite in many people's minds, and he came away with that bronze medal in the 200. He was, I think he concealed his disappointment pretty well, but it sort of gave him a kick up the you-know-where.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit injured that year, and then he came back in 22. He set the American record then in 23. He did the double, 24. He wants to do that triple there. Well, excuse me, he did the triple in 23, but he wants to do the triple at the Olympic Games. He's already one of the most decorated we've ever seen here, but I think this summer would prove a lot. Absolutely.
And we have to remember he's the 3rd fastest in history at 200 meters. 19.3 run, holds that US record, as you said, 9.83 for the 100. He's improved his sprinting. He won the US indoor title at 60 meters, didn't he? He is a fabulous 60-meter sprinter now, great 100-meter sprinter. And I think can go quicker at 100 than 9.83. I think he's got another meter or so in him.
It's so fun to see him do the 60 indoors, and then he does, you know, he's done a 400 now outdoors, he's done the relay. But let's talk about Usain Bolt's record, 14:35. That's from 2009. It's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago, but, you know, Bolt was quite good.
Oh, he's very good.
Still hold the world record at 100 and 200. It's the 150 sort of fits in.
For sure.
On your marks.
The wind swirling here in Piedmont Park, Atlanta. The previous race just a few minutes ago, the wind was a -2 in the face of the women's 100-meter hurdlers. Is it behind these fellas now? The men's 150 meters. Noah Lyles in lane 3. Away first time, Lyles keeping his head down, driving hard there, working hard to get away from Josephus, his brother, second to left. Noah Lyles pushing hard here, and he's gradually getting a bit of daylight. Zarnell Hughes coming back at him. Zarnell Hughes in second place. The Briton loses by a couple of meters, maybe 3 meters at the line. 14.42. Well, Noah Lyles last year running 14.56. He runs a meter and more quicker than 12 months ago. We know he's a better 60 and 100-meter sprinter this year than ever before. Noah Lyles is the winner in 14.41. Wow. This fella delivers, Carrie,
He
again
always-
and again.
I mean, he keeps you on your toes, right? We're 3/4 of the race in, and we're like, oh, what's happening? And then he just starts to lengthen that stride. He always looks so good. But as we can watch here, gets out of the blocks nice, putting that force into the track. One of the things he and his coach have been working on is being aggressive, applying force to the ground, doing all the little things, the drills, the weights. This is what we want to see. Noah Lyles getting to the finish line with strength and endurance, and he has it.
He was working for that one. T, what does he think about it?
Amazing racing down here in Atlanta, Noah. Clear win. Now, your reaction said something a little different. So, what's your reaction about?
I wanted the world record. But I'll settle for tying the American.
You're so funny. Now, I've heard not only do you have your eyes set on your first Olympic gold medal, but you have 3 more going on in your mind. So we want to know, what's the difference between this Noah 2024 from...
I ain't got depression. Makes a big difference. Makes a huge difference. Yeah. So I'm hyped. I'm excited. I come out here and I get excited when I see the fans. When I hear the noise from the front to the back, from side to side.
We love it. Thank you so much, Noah. You bring all the energy every time. Congratulations on your win here in Atlanta.
Thank you. Thank you, Atlanta!
You know, I love that. He did talk about mental health, right? I mean, depression, he said it, and he has battled that. He was very vocal about it. He's happy. We want to see him happy. We want to see all these athletes happy.
You know what's interesting about this, and I know he's saying he's disappointed to get the world record, but it's May. You don't want a world record in May. You want a May in July,
He
August.
always wants a
but
world
look
record.
at it. He had to work really hard here, and for a moment I thought Zarnell Hughes at the top in yellow was going to come back at him, but he is so strong in that final 30 or 40. You know, that is, I still think, and I would still love to see, he doesn't think so, and he knows better, I would still love to see him run more 400s, because he has wonderful speed endurance. That indoor 300 meters world record, a world best, back in 2017, was special, and he gets stronger and stronger as the race wears on. You know, he pulled away so much there. Most of that winning margin was in the last 30 or 40 meters.
Well, and even how he ran that 4x4 when we saw him run the 400 just a couple weeks ago, or indoors it was, excuse me, he looked great. So, yeah, I mean, we know that this guy is serious. He loves what he does. He loves this sport, and he's going to bring it every single time.
Absolutely. But that is a great stepping stone, a great performance that he can look back on and be satisfied with, Kerry. It's close to being the world record, 14.41 against Bolt's 14.35. And you know what? Bolt was so special with those world records at 100 and 200 and 150. And to be threatening those records is quite something. And Noah Lyles is still a growing force. He's 26 years old. His best years are ahead of him.
Yeah.
Confirmation of that win for Noah Lyles in the 150. 14.41. He equals the American record. Zarnell Hughes second, 14.66 in what is his debut at 150. The Brit, and Alexander Ogando, 14.86. Again, a debut for him. I'm sure that is a Dominican Republic national record.
Well, I think you said it. I mean, he is still young. He's 26 years old, and he also signed a long contract with Adidas, and the shoes keep getting better. The gear keeps getting better. He is a guy that we are going to see hopefully for many more years. Along with that incredible field, that was a really nice race.
Well, what a day it's been. 18 races, 18 fabulous contests, and concluding there with a special run from Noah Lyles. But let's take a look at some of these great performances today. There have been so many, Carrie, in the women's long jump.
Well, and I think every single event that you do now makes such a big difference heading into the season, and that's what these athletes are doing. Broom looked great today. She was going for it. S.A. Broom is in it. She is one of the top 5 in the country, in the world, excuse me. She knows where her mind is. She knows where she wants to be in August.
Well, Tiffany Flynn producing her best, 6 meters 77 in round 5. This is her going out to 22 feet 2.5 for 4th place. Anna Hall, well, we know she's still building. It was a modest series by her standards. She has the potential to be a world-class long jumper. She knows that, but today her best coming in round 4, 6 meters 18, 20 feet 3.5. She's on the way back, and she just needs a few more weeks. Quenisha Burt, well, she finished in 2nd place, 6.89 coming from her after a great opener, and in round 2, 6 meters 89, 22 feet 7.25. A season's best for her in 2nd place. And Tara Davis-Woodall putting together a fabulous series. 6.96 opener, 6.98 second round, fifth round after a couple of no jumps, 7 meters 17. 23 feet 6 1/4. That is big jumping. That is Olympic medal winning form. Look at the height she got off the board there. She looks across at the official there, who didn't raise his red flag. That was a good jump. It was a brilliant jump. 23 feet 6 1/4 to win the long jump by almost 12 inches. Indeed, 11 inches exactly from Cornesha Burks' season's best. S.A. Broom in third place with the season's best as well. Well, we'll be right back.
Okay, hold on. It's only rivalry.
Anthony Edwards.
It's only noise. It's only hard work. It's only a number. It's only breaking the laws of gravity. It's only getting back up and up and up. It's only a jump.
We've been a while since it felt like this. We've been a while since it felt like this. Been a while since it felt like this.
Well, the crowd's easing away here after a fabulous evening's track and field athletics in Piedmont Park. And Carrie, you're right down in the thick of it, aren't you?
I am. I'm with my former agent, Mark Wetmore of Global Athletics and Marketing. Mark, what an awesome day.
Yeah, we were really happy with the way it turned out. I mean, the weather was such a threat all week. I felt like we spent all day Wednesday and Thursday and even part of Friday in just contingency meetings about what are we going to do if lightning comes and all these things. It just turned out great. We got really lucky, and the athletes, of course, were amazing today.
Well, you do such cool events in New York, here, all over. I mean, this is a big production for you to put on, not only to get your athletes here, but to get this whole thing going.
Yeah, this is something we developed in Boston and got this track really to the point where it's virtually it's like kind of running on an indoor track. So it is really high quality from a performance perspective, and a lot of the athletes really like running on it now. And now we have to break it down. We got to be out of here by tomorrow morning. So it's now that the fun part's over, the hard part starts. So
well, the big guy finished off with some pretty spectacular fireworks, Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
He is one of your athletes that you manage.
Yes.
How do you manage that guy?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great. It's great just to have that kind of energy and around him and all the interest in him, and it takes a lot, but he gives a lot, and it's really a lot of fun. And hey, a little shout out to Candace Hill,
yes,
who I've been managing since 2015, and she had a breakout moment today in front of her home crowd. It was really pretty spectacular.
You put on a great show, too. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for what you do at Global.
Thank you guys for the great production today.
It was super fun.
Thanks,
Back to you, Tim.
Well, I'm sure Mark Wetmore has got his spanner in hand, and he'll be helping take that track to pieces over the next few hours. They've got to be out of here by tomorrow morning. It's a tough world out there. Joe Biden's in town. He's made it a little bit tough. Much of town was closed down this morning, but the athletes got here on time. The spectators got here on time in their thousands, and they've enjoyed a real feast of great track and field athletics. Noah Lyles delivered, equal as an American record at over 150, 14.41. Toby Amuzan, well, she lost out to Kenny Harrison on this occasion. That was a bit of a shock. Kenny Harrison is still a massive threat. Grant Holloway delivered well, 13.07 in the 110-meter hurdles for men. Simbine winning for South Africa in the men's 100. Tara Davis-Woodall, brilliant long jumping, 7 meters 17, 23 feet 6 1/4. And Candice Hill, it wasn't in fact a world best, but it was still fabulous sprinting from her. We've had a great day here. The weather has been kind to us, kind enough for great track and field athletics, and we've been so worried about the wind, the rain, and even lightning. And we're raised up here in a metal tower. Imagine how we felt. It's like sitting in a giant barbecue if the lightning had come down. But they've been good, the athletes. Carrie, final thought from you?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I think Mark said it. Candice Hill was so much fun to watch today, along with all the athletes. It's going to be an awesome summer.
It is going to be an enormous summer and a massive summer. The American trials are next for the big names. The Olympic Games 11 weeks away. What a summer we've got coming at us. From all of us here at this second Adidas Atlanta City Games from the Meadow in Piedmont Park, Midtown Atlanta. Bye-bye. Thanks for being with us.